I'm going to speak at his funeral one day.
I'm going to miss giving him ultimate wedgies and then putting its ripped shit-stained underwear up the flagpole, man.
Did you have a kid die in high school?
Yes.
Yeah, what do you do?
Drown.
Really?
Yeah.
In the pussy?
He's drowning in pussy. That's right. No, you wish.
I wish he drowned in pussy.
Yeah. Well, because you're such a generous guy.
Right, exactly.
Because that's the kind of guy you are.
Mm-hmm. Hey, if I was drowning in the pussy, would you guys save me?
No, man, I'd let you drown in that shit.
You wouldn't throw me one of those life preservers?
I'd throw you a life preserver made out of dicks,
and
I'd pull you out.
And I would see the whole thing, and I would write a song about it, like Phil Collins.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in the hair tonight. Yeah, let's talk about pubes and shit.
If I saw you drowning in pussy, I would not lend a hand. I've seen this dick before, my friend.
Right, and then it's the da-da-da-da-da-da, but it's just fart noises.
Yeah. But I don't know if you know that I'm gay.
Well, I was there and I saw your ass. Licked it with my own 2 tongues. I don't know the lyrics.
Wipe off that jizz. I know what your biz. You're selling your dick on the street.
I can feel it coming in the pussy tonight.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord.
Lord.
Oh, Lord.
A feeling of worry, nervousness, will unleash, typically about an imminent event or something with an uncertain outcome.
Shit, if this gonna be that kind of party, I'm gonna stick my dick in the mashed potato. Oh God, they're gonna know I'm dumb.
Welcome to Brain Jail.
Is Satan dead?
I thought that was like the start of a Lil Wayne song for a second with the lighter flick.
Well, welcome to Brain Jail. This is Kevin Tinkin. Sitting across from me is Jace Wayne Avery in shorts and a long sleeve, thick button-up, kind of like a Texas Saturday church gathering.
Right.
You all share your special meatballs and your... your potato salad and whatnot.
Yep. The Texas dish of meatballs and potato salad.
Oh, yeah. Hey, come on down. Get yourself some meatballs and taters. Hey, I saw you brought that boy with you. Hey, help yourself some tater salad and meatballs.
We're just some Texas Italians. I'm cooking mean calzone packed full of barbecue.
Well, Mamma Mia, that's a spicy meatball, man, I'll tell you. And Jace's younger brother, but with a much more mature pubic hair growth.
Hey,
Benjamin.
I told you not to tell anybody that.
Sling Blade Avery.
Yep.
Sling Blade Runner.
That's right.
2069. Is that a bit? Is that anything close to a bit?
Sling Blade Runner 2069?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yep, we ran out of bits to do, so this is what we just do now. We just start doing a voice, and then it's free association.
That's right.
Yep. We don't even do the voices that well, do
He
we?
was just a replicant boy made out of parts.
Yep. You know those birds that just like mimic other birds? That's kind of what we are.
Well,
we don't really have like a unique thing. We just try to sound like other things.
We just kind of like a pop.
Pepe! Pepe! Pepe!
Yeah, that's the Pepe bird. You could tell it's a Pepe bird because it has the big white hood on his head. I don't like those birds. They're not kind to people.
Before we mock your autism any further, or just the disabled in general, I do want to encourage people to continue to leave us a 5-star review on iTunes or wherever you listen to your podcasts. And make sure to send us an email at brainjailpod@gmail.com. If you want to send Jace Wayne Avery nudie shot, feel free.
Go for it.
He loves getting nudes.
Very true. Yeah.
Anytime, actually, Jace loves getting nudes so much that anytime you type an S on your phone,
Right.
it has intelligently tried to understand what you're trying to do, before, so it just automatically fills in send nudes.
Right.
Yeah. Did you mean send nudes?
Yeah, I actually have a hard drive hooked up to my phone for all the nudes that I have. Why are you standing on the table?
I'm trying to get like
Hi?
like out of my mind, dude, so we can like creatively like get the juices pumping, dude.
So you're just standing above the table?
Because I'm getting a bird's eye view. Like you got to shift your perspective so you can get like tapped into the higher frequency, dude.
Yeah. You shouldn't do physical bits, especially on a week when we don't have video.
I'm so much taller than you guys right now.
See, this is just about power. There's no otherworldly thing.
I could place my dick and balls on both your heads right now.
Well, you could do that anytime you want, buddy. Open invite.
Why wouldn't you?
Red carpet across my face for your
drag
dick
it right
and balls.
across you, dude.
I have a red carpet leading up to it. You put it right on.
Right on the face, and I go, hey, walk down this red carpet,
There he is, Mr. Ballsack. Doesn't he look lovely, folks? Look at him. Best
Everyone's just
balls
waving.
in the West Coast,
Right.
East
Just
Coast.
children and women just waving
Right.
with their
Mr.
handkerchiefs.
Ballsack.
Photographers.
Yeah.
Mr. Ballsack, Mr. Ballsack.
Streamers coming down.
What are you wearing?
The ticker tape parade.
Right.
It's just it's a box that a bunch of dudes sit on.
Okay.
And then they open them one by one, and then you see, and it's all blacked out except for like a light you'd buy if you were going to be an eBay seller.
Okay.
One of those boxes, but there's a hole in the top, and their balls are just draping.
Just the balls. No dick.
Just the balls.
Right.
And then the judges come by and they just like critique it like they're chefs.
Okay.
They're just like,
like it's the Westminster Dog Show.
wow, very nice length on this pair.
Yeah, they're holding it out, examining
The testes.
Yeah, he's just-
stretching the skin out.
He's flicking one nut with his finger.
Ooh, low response.
Yeah.
Tapping it with a little wooden rod.
Yeah,
That's just used.
He's
for
got like the hammer doctors use on knees, where they just like, and they just like they measure how long it jiggles for.
Now the chandelier contest is complete. We can move on.
Yeah.
He's the judge is very impressed here by the natural look.
Now this is actually a Mastiff breed, known for their fur and their size.
Ooh, this guy's got a nick on his balls. Looks like a quad razor blade.
Oh,
You can
and
tell by
one
the
of the
4 nicks.
One of the balls is actually shitting on the show floor.
Ooh, that's going to cost.
That's going to cost a lot of points. Yeah.
Unless every one of the other ball sacks shits on the floor, that's going to be pretty much donezo for these nutzos.
Okay, now they're lifting up the testes to see what they got on the other side. The taint looks good, Roger. It looks really good. It's nice and pink. Oh my God, there's a tick. There's a tick under the balls. Like, this is such a...
Ooh, that's a bad look. We've all been there, but
mean,
you got to take it to the doctor.
I understand it's been a stressful week for the owner of the balls, but I mean... You think they would have saw this morning in the hotel room, Roger?
And this pair of balls actually has a little bit of gum stuck to the underside of it.
Gum and a tick, Roger. I can't believe that.
I believe that somebody put a cigarette out on the gum. And it's just sticking out of the gum.
I'm starting to think maybe these balls, maybe they had a crazy party last night. I mean, everyone was going into this contest thinking they were going to lose to this pair of balls, and maybe, it just got a little cocky last night at the club.
This pair of balls is almost like the 1988 Cowboys, where they all bought hookers before that one Super Bowl.
Now, these balls are from Sean Gemini. You'll know that from his...
Sean Gemini.
Sean Gemini, from his signature googly eyes. He puts on each testicle. And he's a real showman.
Right.
A real showman.
And of course, he's going with the Western wear theme for this year's event. You see a little cowboy hat on one of the balls and a boot on the other.
Now, Judge Thompson here, you don't see this from the rest of the judges, but he likes to carry around a cup of water and just do a displacement test on each set of testicles. Just to get the real understanding of the girth and how much.
Somebody's watering and cutting it like it's a bonsai tree, like the little clippers. Just a psh, psh.
One of the balls is just it's all cardboard boxes, so there's just flashes going on,
right? For sure.
And then there's a very small fan that's blowing. It's good.
That's a good bit.
Somebody's lightly spraying it with a spray bottle.
Yes, a little spray bottle.
And we're going to the interview now. Post contest, they scored a 9.1. Not that bad. We're here with John the owner of the pair of balls. John, how are you feeling out there?
Oh, feeling great, Bill. Feeling really good.
The
wife
balls were
said they
looking
were
good.
gross.
Oh, well, I mean.
Not when I come home with this blue ribbon on these bad boys.
Well, okay. Well, hold on. Let's break the fourth wall here for a second.
Yeah.
Because I imagine that the balls just existed on their own without being attached to anybody.
No, I like to imagine that above each box is a just hairy naked man squatting
really?
down.
That's the problem.
And his dick is laid across the top of the
okay.
box.
In
Yeah.
1997, they had to change the rules to put the testicles in a box because a lot of the contestants felt that the whole body was kind of,
Right.
making the judges,
Right.
lean one way or another.
Like how when you interview for an orchestra, you try out, they do a blind tryout because they don't want to, accidentally not hire women.
Do some people try to cheat by like using a horse's balls?
all the time.
Like they
All the time.
they cut off a horse's balls and tape them to where their balls
Yeah, they
are and
haul
stick them through.
haul out the horse's balls and then they stick their balls in the horse's balls.
Yeah. Yep.
And they wear like a little suit.
So they just do like electrical tape to like keep it
Yeah, it looks fucking shitty as fuck. Yeah.
like paper clips.
It's like all fucked up and there's blood everywhere. And there's there are ticks all over it. Yeah. Do horses have big balls? Because I know they have big dicks, but do they have big balls?
I don't think they're that big.
Right.
Not compared to mine.
I was looking at a bunch of DeviantArt stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There's like this whole subsection on Twitter of people that are into. Do you remember Meowth?
Oh, the Pokemon Meow?
Yeah,
the all-powerful Pokemon?
Yeah.
The little Jewy one that
The
they.
Jewy was
All
it
right.
the Jewy
It doesn't
one?
have to be.
No, they
Jewy.
did. It like loved gold and it tried to steal from everybody.
Oh,
And
I was
it
thinking-
had a nasally voice.
I was thinking of Mewtwo, and I was like,
It
do you
did-
think it's Jewish because it can control the weather? Is that why?
That's the Jew. It's Mewtwo.
Mewtwo, yeah. Pikachu.
Yeah.
No, he was the only one that could talk.
Meowth, I know.
Yeah, but he just sounded like a
that's-
cat.
Oh, he was
Again,
the
they
cat.
have a higher IQ. The Ashkenazi Jew has a higher
Right.
IQ.
He's
That's
like,
why it was so sophisticated.
Can you not? Can we not?
This
talk
is
about,
the racist Japanese. This is not me.
Right, yeah.
They
This
are a
is-
very racist country.
No, you're interpreting it. It has nothing to do with
Did
the
you know
Japanese.
Pokemon actually in Japanese means pocket chew? A lot of people don't know that.
Really?
When translated. Yeah.
That's good. That's good to know. That would be really funny. You're putting in the translator on your phone. It just says that. Pocket Jew.
You got to catch them all.
You have to catch them all.
Now, Kevin, were you a big Pokemon kid?
No, I was no.
The only thing this guy is trying to catch is some Z's.
I'll tell you what. I love sleeping. I love it. Yeah,
Yeah, you're that big fat sumo wrestler Pokemon that slept all the time. Snorlax. Yeah.
I do love that.
The
Like,
Zand up Pokemon. Yeah.
you love sleeping.
didn't Christians think Pokemon was like it was like trying to trick kids subliminally into being like bug chasers? And
No,
stuff?
they thought
No.
they thought it was like demonic.
No,
They thought it was
They
trying.
think the Pokemon's
They think
an
it's
HIV.
demonic. Probably.
And they're trying to get them to chase the bug.
They
The Pokemon are the bugs, folks.
they
They want them to catch them all. They want your kids to watch the TV and be possessed by the devil to go get HIV, the virus that causes AIDS that we all know.
That's right. That's
Pikachu,
right.
a little tiny rat that looks so fuckable, y'all.
Look at his little red cheeks. The red cheeks means he is ovulating, folks.
Yeah, no, it was just trying to get kids into hentai. That was really the steps.
I mean,
so?
I think it's more evil and more basic than that. They're trying to siphon children out of their money.
So they can.
Seems like a stupid theory, honestly.
So they can.
Buy cocaine.
So they can then. What are they going to use the cocaine for?
You're so mad I took the microphone out.
Well, there's a lot of mic noise now.
There's been 2 instances of mic noise
Now
so
3.
far.
See, I can take the mic out and hold it because I know how to get the mic to not have any mic fumbling noises, and I hold it very delicately. A lot of people just really go to town on the mic when they try to hold it themselves.
Right. Well, it reminds me of a dick, so I got to get my hands all over this bad boy. Yeah.
Sure. Sure.
Another sleepy time episode, everybody.
Well, I mean, we go to Jews and bug chasers real quick, and I'm just like, okay, I got nothing to add.
This
to
is
it.
just Pokemon,
Just-
though.
Yeah, we're just talking
Bullshit.
about Pokemon, man.
Your kids are the ones possessed by these demons.
Right. It's actually Pokemon is Israel, and Digimon is Palestine. A lot of people don't know that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
but they're so
thing.
close. That's
the thing. Yeah, they're
so
very similar. Yeah, but they can't get over their hate.
They can't get along.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
because one worships Abraham, the other worships Muhammad.
See, your kids started with Pokemon, Kevin, and now they're on to Sonic the Hedgehog. And
no, they're not into Sonic the Hedgehog yet.
Well, I invented that, so
okay.
They will be soon.
Soon, though.
Since they're devout listeners of the show.
That's your evil plan to take over America.
They're aware of the podcast. They're aware of Pepe. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
They're aware of Pepe.
They're aware.
They have awoken to Pepe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they know what hate is.
They've left the metaphorical cave. It seems.
Yeah, they're really on their own hero's journey at this point.
Yeah, they were just staring at shadows of Pepe's and 8chan's, but now they're looking at the real thing.
They don't want to watch The Matrix yet.
Really?
No, they don't. I tried to get my son to watch. I was like, "You want to watch The Matrix? We can watch it. It's PG-13, but you're with Dad." And he's like, "No, it's okay, Dad." I'm like, "All right." So we just watched
the Animatrix.
Is he
Tiggo Bitties 5? I think it was called.
Is he scared? Is he the type of kid that he'd be scared if he watched like Jaws or The Matrix or something like that?
Yeah, well, he was scared when he watched Harry Potter, and so was my daughter.
Why?
Because there's some scary shit in there.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah,
there's a lot of magic and flying around.
Yeah.
It scares the hell out of me. I mean, then again, I'm just a Orthodox Christian, good old traditional American boy.
How do you get magic? You invoke the devil. Mm-hmm. That's how you do it.
Mm-hmm. May you turn in your Bible to the Witch of Endor. the one example we have. You guys know the Witch of Endor story,
no,
right?
I have no
what idea. Is that?
That is when Samuel goes. I believe it's who was King David fighting with near the end?
Trump.
He was fighting against Trump.
He was fighting Trump, yeah.
It was King David versus King Trump.
Yeah, King Trump, yeah.
Dude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's right.
He was fighting with addiction.
Right.
For sure.
That's the DSA version of the Bible, yeah.
I believe in the Old Testament it was King David and Samuel. Samuel didn't know how to defeat King David. Mm-hmm. So he went out to the outside of the city where the witches lived. It was the Witch of Endor.
I think I vaguely remember this. Yeah.
So he used.
I don't remember this.
This is the Old Testament.
There's like parts of the Bible where it clearly becomes like you're like, okay, well, this is clearly fake now. It's just
I don't know.
about witches. And
it probably happened.
I mean, who knows?
It was
just probably.
It was just a girl who was really into tarot cards, like lives in Silver Lake.
Yeah, I mean,
I say tarot.
Ben went from being a complete, just alcoholic playing catch in the street with his dogs to being on InfoWars. Mm-hmm. So I mean, anything could have happened.
Yeah, magic can be real. Who knows?
It can be real. Think of that. By the way, I don't want to completely derail, but
I love a good compliment.
It's good. It's good. It's good shit.
I went from hitchhiking in Beverly Hills to fist bumping Alex.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. When you were at your bottom, who knew you could have gone even lower than that?
Yeah. Yeah. You really kind of kept going in the same direction, but you did it sober.
Yeah.
Right.
Finally
you were digging, you were like drilling downwards, and then you just decided to go like right through the earth to the other side.
You went supersonic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm making it in Hollywood 2.0.
What's that anime thing when you go Super Sai or something like that?
Like Dragon Ball Z?
Yeah. What is it called?
Oh, Super Saiyan.
Yeah, you went Super Saiyan on it.
Yeah.
To the Jones compound. It's beautiful. All right. So
he's saying something.
So he's trying to kill David, and he takes him to watch the Witches of Eastwick.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. That's where Samuel met the Covington kids.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He was having a feud with the Covington kids, and he went outside the city to meet Nathan Phillips.
Right.
Yeah.
To beat on his drum and summon some magic.
Yeah, it's just Goliath wearing a MAGA hat. Yeah.
Didn't like the look of his smile.
Right.
Mm-hmm. That's actually
and King David put the DSM-5 in a slingshot and that's right around his head and threw it at Goliath.
Yep, that's right.
Now, why would he do that?
I don't know. It's just
because he's
because Goliath was dating Rachel Dolezal. That's why.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, King David he's a fucking king, dude. So that's why he loved
King
Trump.
David looked out on the roof and he saw Rachel Dolezal bathing in the moonlight. I saw her bathing on the roof.
I couldn't tell her history.
She looked kind of white, but her skin was kind of brown too.
She loved to perm her hair down there.
Did she dye? Did she dye her skin, Rachel Dolezal?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really don't know too much about. This is more of a Ben Avery question.
Did she dye her skin?
Mm-hmm.
No, I mean, she just got like, tans and shit.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
She just like went to the tanning booth. They were like, "Why is this black woman going to the tanning booth all the time?"
Oh, this is a
black
good.
people get tans, right?
No, why would they?
Yeah, they do. Yes.
Yeah, I'm
No, go to a tanning booth. Black
Yeah, like
people go to a tanning
I don't know.
but light-skinned black people will get like.
They will get tan in the
and
sunlight.
by the way,
I'm sure it's happened.
By the way, 2020 black people is back. African American is out.
Oh,
Okay.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, since when?
I've been saying black American because I thought that was the appropriate term.
right.
I've
You
been
used to say
saying Blackula.
Negro American. Yeah.
Yeah.
Afro American is what you said. Yeah.
You know what I call them?
What? Friends?
Friends. That's right.
Human beings residing on planet Earth in the Milky Way galaxy.
Yeah, dude.
Why has it got to be Milky? Let's call it the chocolate Milky Way galaxy from now on. I think it just feels right.
Right.
Man, I'm glad we're in charge of the world. Isn't it great?
Okay, so
Why they got to be black holes though?
Oh, yeah.
the Witcher
Always getting
Vendor is one of
Bad
the
name. Say we sucking up everything. The black hole.
Yeah.
Trying to put it on me, saying I suck up the planet. Every time a planet go missing, it's got to be me.
Right. And that's your character is just Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yeah. It's the same voice.
Right.
yeah the Milky Gay.
Oh, there we go. All right. All right.
Neil taps ass.
Right.
Tyson.
The big sipper.
I love the Milky
Yeah.
Way. I call it the Milky Bay.
Wow.
Before
Wow.
anything else, I got that.
Wow.
Hey, do we have a sound effect of a shotgun cocking?
Pew. Pew. No, Ben, what were you saying?
The Witcher Vendor is one of the most interesting because if you do believe that the Bible is the inspired word of God, you have to accept it all as
Okay.
a handwritten
I
message
do.
from
So,
God.
yeah, continue.
Even though, Jesus spoke in Aramaic, which is a dead language, and that was translated to, what was it, Greek?
Spanish.
Yeah, that was translated to Chinese.
Right.
I just
And then
don't.
that was translated into Japanese,
Right.
which was translated into Farsi.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Which then I translated into English.
Right.
Because I can speak all of those languages.
Yeah. I just remember reading the Bible, and my first question of faith was when I found out how much time had gone by since the events had happened that they wrote about.
Yeah.
I was like, it's kind of a big deal. You'd think you'd go home, you'd rush right home and get right in your journal.
Yeah, not 85 years or whatever it was between
Yeah.
the events of Jesus.
Well,
and
people
the
write it.
Gospels.
People usually write a memoir at the end of their life, though.
Yeah, but the people who wrote the
Like, you've seen
Gospels
The
weren't even.
Irishman.
Yeah, exactly. It was like Paul was just walking around in his cane. He's like, we had some good times, me and Jesus, personally.
Yeah, he was actually the only one that got to live out the rest of his days.
Paul was. Yeah,
Yeah.
He lived on an island just being off all the
Yeah.
time.
Just
Yeah.
jerking it and predicting the future.
Right.
Now he's burning in hell.
Yeah.
Good riddance. He killed so many Christians.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
That's a thing I don't get about the Bible too. It's like even Paul went to heaven. It's like he killed
Well,
millions.
it's
of,
kinda like the-
he genocided people.
It's like a Bruce Caitlin thing, you gotta, that was Saul. That wasn't Paul.
Right,
Oh
yeah,
right,
yeah.
He had the road to Damascus conversion and then became Paul.
dude. That is a great metaphor for
Yeah.
being trans. It's
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
true. Paul and Saul, and he even changed his name.
Yeah.
that's
Wait, is
brilliant.
that a great metaphor for being
Yeah.
trans?
I
Yeah.
think so because
Out of
you
all
were
the
bad
men,
and now you're good.
Well,
okay.
and Saul was like the most Jewish Jew. He says that in the Bible. He says he did all the most Jewish things. So
Right.
He was like
Owned his own deli.
he kept the Sabbath. He
lived on the west side.
all the stuff. And fuck you.
It's me, the Apostle Paul. How's it going?
I say something that's
I own the
factual from the
banks.
Bible, and your eyes got so big. Like, excuse me.
I own the paper that the Federal Reserve prints the money on.
All right.
What? No,
No,
they
but
need
so-
the paper.
so-
if there was no paper, there could be no money. Then you could not eat.
you're
I have to own the paper.
You're very welcome for me owning the money. So
And Bruce Jenner was one of the most manly men. You know what I mean?
He was a man of men.
Out of all the men, I was the most manly. I fucked all the women. He said, so if you're going to look to someone to hate, look to me.
right, exactly.
But now I'm Caitlin.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, he was hot.
And that's the speech I give at every one of my children's birthday parties.
As your drug falling down.
That's right. That's right. Pills fall out of my pocket.
Bruce was like, if I was gay, he would have been my guy. And if I was straight, Caitlin would have been my girl.
Yeah, for sure.
But I flipped when he flipped.
Actually, in my marriage, I get 2 cheats, and one of them's Bruce Jenner, one of them's Caitlyn Jenner.
Those are your 2 hall passes.
Yeah. If for some reason I go back in time, I can still fuck Bruce Jenner.
It's like Coke and Pepsi. It's just like, it's fine. You know, we love them both.
Right, for sure. Yeah. You're like, you know, do you have Caitlyn? No. Okay, I'll take Bruce.
Yeah.
Yeah, Caitlin's just the remix.
Right.
That's right. Exactly.
Yeah.
The remix to Ignition.
Right.
Put the key in. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Walking little kids in the basement.
Hell yeah. I love that verse.
Mm-hmm. And after the show, we go down to my cellar. And in my cellar, we piss on a child.
Oh, man.
Some good falsetto.
That is pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good, right?
Oh, can I get back to the Witch of Endor?
Oh, yeah, please. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. And then I'm going to tell you about the bitch at Endor. You know what I mean? Crazy bitch.
So what's...
Broke my good vase.
I'll tell you the story real quick, and I'll tell you why it's fascinating. It's actually like a very fascinating thing to me.
Okay.
So the Witch of Endor, I believe it is Samuel, is trying to defeat King David in a war, right? Mm-hmm. And he turns against God by going out to the outskirts of town where the witches live.
Right.
He consults this witch in Endor, and it conjures...
Wait, isn't Endor the planet where the Ewoks live?
I think so, actually.
Yeah, it is.
But that's actually the story, is the Witch of Endor.
Okay.
I promise you.
Okay.
Kevin, I took Bible classes at a private Christian university.
Right.
Do you think they would have got this wrong?
Right.
It was very expensive.
So Ben was...
You also wrote "I'm gay" in a song 1,000 times. You know, there's a history here.
But Ben's just like, so Samuel goes out to the forest of Endor and he meets a bunch of little bears and they use ropes to take down.
Yeah, and they have hearts in the middle of their chest.
yeah.
And they beam light and rainbows into...
Right. Sorry, I'll stop interrupting this story about the Witch of Endor.
So the Witch of Endor conjures up the ghost of King Solomon. And Solomon, in the story, he looks down and he sees that he's like an apparition, and he's like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Right? He's like,
because you can't go through the dark spirits to conjure me up to ask me for advice. God is going to kill you in battle now. And then
really,
the following day, I believe, in battle when Samuel went to battle with King David. Samuel got like 360 no scoped. Like he got extremely
spawn killed.
And I don't know if you remember, Jason, in the story, he not only does he get fucked up really bad, he's then trying to run away from the battle.
Right.
And he falls and impales on his own sword.
I do remember that. Yeah. He really like almost like a Three Stooges bit. Yeah.
Yeah, you got fucking no scope. But here's the thing now. So if you do believe that it's an inspired word of God, whatever, you have to believe in Ouija boards and tarot cards and all of that stuff that you can conjure up. And you have to believe in ghosts. You have to believe in paranormal activity.
I think a lot of Christian people do believe in that stuff, though.
They totally do, but a lot of people reject dualism that are Christian. They do not believe in a devil, they don't believe in a hell, and they don't believe in ghosts or anything like that.
Okay.
I had and this isn't a crazy wow story or whatever, but just something. When
You see a ghost?
I haven't seen a ghost, but there was a lady who claimed to be possessed and was involved in witchcraft, and that had escaped somewhere.
Yeah, she runs a great show in Venice. I did it the other day.
Well,
you want to do some time?
Well, she said she was possessed by
performing in front of a cauldron.
Yeah, she got JFL 4 years ago. Nothing ever happened for her.
Her demon set.
Right.
No, she said she was possessed and she was involved in this shit, and she was trying to get away. And she came to the church where one of my youth pastor was there, and I was there, and so I didn't go with him. I was like 11 or 12,
and he was alone with her.
Well, yeah, he took her to the bus stop. Yeah,
okay,
took her to the bus stop. I'm gonna take you to the bus stop, girl. Get off on my dick now, girl.
Next stop, my dick.
Yeah.
All aboard.
Let me open the door up for you, there, sweetie.
Last call to ride my dick.
Yeah.
All aboard.
Ding, 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 ding.
But yeah, I was there when she was talking about all that crazy stuff, and then he said he went to take her to the train station, and he had to get quarters for the locker, and then when he opened the locker, he said there was like old books and shit in there. Like, I don't know.
Like the Necronomicon or something?
I was so young that he probably didn't want to. I mean, I guess I was in 7th grade,
right.
so I wasn't like super young. But
it was just the DSM-4.
Yeah.
There's a really old book in there.
Right.
Yeah. And then
when homosexuality was still in.
And Huck Finn is in there. The first print.
Right. The bell curve.
Yeah.
The gorilla mindset.
12 rules for life.
Yes. How to win friends and influence people.
You must never read these books.
Yeah. And Tucker Max, they don't serve beer in hell.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that, and then there was a girl who was supposedly.
I'm just imagining the Nazis burning books, but it's just all Tucker Max.
Only Tucker Max.
It's just Tucker Max.
And for some reason,
game.
yeah, and for some reason, Jughead magazines.
Jughead. Archie is a menace to the German community. Damn you, Jughead.
But that, and then there was supposedly a demon-possessed girl at a church camp I went to.
Okay.
And she was trying to go up to do the altar call or whatever.
Right.
Accept Jesus into her heart. And she started flipping out and barking like a dog.
Really?
And I was there for that.
Mm-hmm.
And,
I bet she was a freak, dude.
She was a straight freak. In the sheets, bro. And then we all left and prayed for her and stuff, and they said she went home the next day.
Well, that's good.
That's the closest thing I've ever actually seen.
Yeah, I wonder how much of that is like, when I read about old tales of demon possession and stuff like that, is that just like fucking schizophrenia that they didn't understand back then?
Yeah, I mean that's possible. I think there's all kinds of mental disorders. There's also also I've seen some acts around here that look like demon possession.
Oh, don't get me started, folks.
Let me tell you, folks.
Don't get me started.
But you think about some of the things you've seen comics do on stage to essentially get attention, and so that's also a factor.
Well, now I'm getting goosebumps.
Are your ears burning?
Just thinking about the sets I've seen.
Right. You once did a front flip onto your back. Yeah.
That killed.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
My friend Garrett, he's a smart guy. He was over here the other day. He's like a famous YouTube guy. I mean, he's a competent guy. He's always told me he sees ghosts. And when he was over here the other night, he said he saw a ghost in the corner of the room.
Oh shit!
But he said it was a nice ghost, like he was just chilling. It was
just
fine.
It was just a ghost smoking weed.
Yeah,
it was me, dude. Right. It was fucking me.
I'm like, Kevin.
Right.
I came by after my clan meeting and lit up a J in your living room.
I just like the idea of a stoner ghost. Just like you just hear a bong rip, just like.
Oh, my bad, dude. Did I wake you, bro?
His chains are just like Abercrombie necklaces.
Bro, can you hold the carb for me, bro? Bro, I can't get the suction right.
I'm so high, I'm above heaven. I can't get into heaven because I'm above it.
Yeah.
I can't spit on this blunt, bro, to make it stick.
Right.
Can you lick my J,
bro? He's forever walking around with a loose J.
Yeah.
That's rolled all shitty.
He's looking for papers.
Yeah, pipes clattering.
He has to wander the earth looking for a backwoods.
Yeah.
It's young King Dave.
Yeah, King Dave. Yeah.
It's fucking nice out.
So you guys have both never seen ghosts or experienced something supernatural.
I don't think so, no.
I don't think I have either, but I totally think it's a legitimate thing. I think I'm just not tapped in. The way I'm not tapped into, I feel like I've yet to tap into a higher dimension that I need to tap into to become a more successful version of myself, which I think is just a mindset highly successful people get into. I'm sorry. I just think that's real. If you think that's gay, you can suck my dick and fuck me in the ass. I would like that a lot.
Yeah, because you're gay.
Or if you agree with it, you can still suck my dick and fuck me in the ass.
Yeah, take it or leave it. Offer still on the table.
But I think you can totally, like how monks can tap into parts of their mind and like trip and like lower the light of the room, or like how someone can sit in a bed of ice like out in the cold and totally not die.
Yeah.
I think
I did that one with a bed of ass. Continue.
So I'm saying I think there's something about people that were raised super religious that I feel like do not experience the supernatural. I'm not sure why. And I think because people who are raised religious are emotionally more closed off. I would say we are more emotionally closed off than a lot of people.
Yeah.
When it comes to somewhere being on the spectrum.
Yeah.
Our hearts are somewhat hardened.
I don't know.
Like the Pharaoh.
I feel like I feel like you're throwing down. I don't really think there's anything. Probably.
Fuck.
I just think it's
Now I
probably
look
all
stupid.
Ben, I'm with you, buddy. I'll tell you, I hope that there's something. I want to see something supernatural. I really do. When I was doing a show on a boat and we saw SpaceX, I thought it was aliens. I really did.
Right.
And there was a solid amount of seconds, like 20 to 30 seconds, where I thought they were aliens before I figured it out.
Isn't that desire for to see something supernatural? I feel like that is a kind of different manifestation of the same thing that created religion.
100%.
Yeah,
I think so.
It's people, the human brain is naturally designed to try and take chaos and put it into order.
Yeah,
and
just like you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I hate chaos.
I know you hate chaos.
Yeah.
Captain Order.
Yeah, you look at my life over here. Yeah,
that's
hate
right.
chaos.
Hey, he's an order man.
Mm-hmm. I have gravy stains on my shorts right now. Hate chaos.
Is that gravy?
Yeah, it is. Shut the fuck up.
You were getting Lewinsky'd over here.
Shut the fuck up, man. Yeah, I'm just like the girl that Kobe raped, and that I have 3 sets of cum on me at all times.
Always, gotta have it. Gotta be ready.
No, I think it's just a different manifestation of that, where it's like, so like something happens that you can't explain, and then I think people are like, oh well, I will take that information, and then like sensory, like your senses cannot really be trusted at all, really, if you think about it.
Well, it depends by what you mean. What is real?
I mean, you can get to a whole but technically we're all a simulation.
Isn't that the question Morpheus asks in The Matrix? He says it depends what you mean by what is real.
Yeah.
Do you mean by what you can smell, what you can taste?
Mm-hmm. Right. It's all input, to our brain, and then our brain is an interpreter.
Yeah, but when you get to that point, you can't even really have a conversation about it, because you'd be like, what is even a conversation? You know what I mean?
Well,
no,
you can look
at
it scientifically. I mean, there's a whole study of psychology called sensation and perception that deals with that specifically. Mm-hmm. That you're just interpreting input. I mean, your brain is even designed in a way to where the nerves that go from your ear or your eyes, when they see something that's moving quickly, they're able to recognize that and actually trigger the part in your brain to make you move.
Right.
Before you can even recognize.
That's what I'm saying. I think
is.
that's more of an example of your brain could potentially just screw something up. You get a splash of a chemical in the wrong direction. All of a sudden, people do it all the time. They see things that aren't there.
Right. I want to see Sasquatch. I want to see UFOs. I want to see a ghost.
Right.
I am very interested in that. Matter of fact, I did a show at the UCB last night, and there was 2 witches that were there.
Okay.
That were witches and fortune tellers. That's how they had to introduce themselves.
Right.
This sounds like
they're con artists.
And they were with my buddy Ryan Singer, not to be confused with Brian Singer.
I fucking love Ryan.
Ryan is a great
Brian
guy.
Singer.
I love Ryan Singer. He's got a great podcast, speaking of this type of stuff, called Me and Abnormal You, or Me and Paranormal You. And he just talks to people about paranormal stuff. Mm-hmm. And I went on it. I told the story about the possession and whatnot, or the lady, the girl.
Right.
But I wanted to ask him, like, what's my future? Like, prick my finger or something. Like,
right.
I'm curious about that stuff.
Yeah. I don't know. I just maybe I'm an unbeliever, but I just think it's like pretty much probably all bullshit. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. But
I don't know, man. When you have dreams at night, you're totally convinced they're a real thing.
Right.
So, what Carl Jung said, he said we understand 0.1% of the human mind at this point.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And also I believe Carl Jung, I've tried to find the quote before, and actually, who I was talking to this about, who confirmed it, was Ryan Singer. He brought it up, and I was like, I was just reading that the other day. He was like, me too. It's about where Carl Jung is speaking on, and please someone send me this quote if you can find it, but he's talking about how our imagination is just as real as the reality we are experiencing.
Yeah.
He said there's actually no difference. If you can think of it, then it is real. And he explained it in his Jungian logic, and I'm too dumb to fucking remember how it seemed true to me.
Right.
So,
well, I think that's the more interesting, if you want to get into because when people talk about aliens and Bigfoot and shit like that, to me that's more like pseudo paranormal stuff, where I think like the really interesting pseudo paranormal stuff.
It's paranormal activity, but you also get off by the violence.
You're sadist. Yeah, I believe in Hellraiser. That's my one thing.
I don't know what it was. I've never seen it before. It beat the shit out of me, and I came all over the woods.
I think Bigfoot is a dom. Bigfoot, he's the ultimate daddy dom. He's the boss level dom.
I could smell his musk on me. I could smell it, and it was intoxicating. I was like Pepe Le Pew drawn to a hot looking cat.
He walked out of the woods with a ball gag and a whip. And goddamn it, if I came 5 times that night, y'all.
You know me, I have a foot fetish, and that guy has the biggest feet around.
Greg, that was just a big, tall Italian man you had sex with.
I swear to God, it came more than I ever came. When that Bigfoot stepped on that full pie, oh my God, I loved it. And he sat on a turkey. I love that shit. I get off on that.
He stepped on my balls with his big feet, and he squished them.
Bigfoot did squish porn for me live.
Squish porn?
Yeah.
Is that where you step on someone's balls?
I don't know what it's... No. I saw it as a reference in a movie once, not on real life. No,
your eyes go wide.
Yeah, not in real life.
There is a fucking fetish of getting crushed by a giant woman. That's a real fetish that people have.
That's a trip.
Where they want to get crushed by like a 50-foot woman to just step on them like a bug.
No, well, it's not the woman is 50 feet. It's that you're just really tiny.
Well, yeah, either way, you know, somebody very big is crushing you.
You want to be carried around in their pocket and fed little tiny peas.
There's also shit where
it's like a Pixar movie.
No, I'm serious.
Like your Ratatouille.
That's an actual fetish.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's an actual fetish. Yeah.
There's a fetish where women sit on cakes and they like squish animals with their feet and stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's just snuff.
Yeah. Well,
that's just torture. Which there's a lot of the dark web is just torture shit. It's not even sexual.
Don't you snuff?
I snuff a little bit, you know.
Yeah.
I've been known to dip I actually live stream. I'm a live stream snuffer. All right, thanks Blitcoin84 for the donation for me to kill this bug.
Is that the wires being crossed, or is that someone that's in so much pain internally that the only way they can express it is by watching something get tortured?
I think it's wires being crossed, but there's probably some trauma related to that weird stuff like that. You know, like I looked into like why are people foot fetishes? Like why does that exist so frequently? And it's because the foot part of your brain is directly next to your genitalia and your pleasure center. So it's like they can often get cross-wired. So that's when people want to get jerked up by feet.
Wait, you saying people got a pussy on their foot?
Me and Jace read that.
Foot pussy?
Jace, I read that in a book you bought, and then I read it. It was Phantoms of the Brain by Dr. Ramachandran.
Yeah.
And it was about
Watch your mouth.
Some people, Kevin, this is very interesting. Some people will get their legs cut off, one of their legs cut off. And then when they would orgasm post losing their leg, like in an injury, they would experience a sensation of an orgasm all throughout where their leg used to be.
Yeah.
And if you looked at the map on their brain, so where your leg was in your brain, the cells there that were used to control the motor function of your leg, those are taken over by your genitalia because it's close. That's the closest thing. It moves in because it wants to. It's not going to leave a dead part of your brain. It's going to use all it can. So then your orgasms become insane, and that's why I'm getting the operation done next week to get my legs chopped off.
Yeah,
so speaking of, sorry, am I cutting you off?
Well, I was just going to say we could make the quadriplegic walk again if we just make them come all the time.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Oh yeah,
like in our first episode, the retarded son that gets jerked up by his dad.
Quadriplegic is
that's my version of the movie Awakenings. Is I'm just trying to jerk off.
I don't know
people with locked in syndrome.
Yeah,
it's the one with Robert De Niro and Robin Williams where you get take whatever. Anyway, I'm saying that book.
You gave up immediately on explaining the plot.
You were looking at me. I'm like, I fucking who knows.
Well, what is it?
Robert De Niro paints houses. Robin Williams is actually the Irishman.
Right?
He's actually Irish.
He's actually Irish, and Robert De Niro has to fake Robin Williams' suicide, so it looks like it's not a hit.
Okay, and he's the angriest man in Ireland.
Yeah, angriest man in Brooklyn. Yep, that's right.
And he jumps off the building and
what?
Well, in The Angriest Man in Brooklyn, Robin Williams jumps off the...
Nobody saw that movie.
It was his last film.
Nobody saw it.
No one saw Philip Seymour Hoffman's last movie either.
What was Philip Seymour Hoffman's last movie?
It was The Mockingjay Part 2.
Yeah, a billion people saw that.
No, that movie flopped.
Yeah, so 500 million people
saw it. You
mean
the last of the Jennifer Connelly or Jennifer
Lawrence?
J-Law.
Jennifer, what is that? The Catching Fire.
Hunger Games.
Hunger Games. But near the end of the Hunger Games, no one gave a shit about it.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I have no idea.
No one cared.
Well, hey.
That's why Philip Seymour Hoffman killed himself.
I actually believe that.
He went, fuck this shit. And then he plunged the syringe into his vein.
You know what? Fuck it, dog.
He came home from school. His mom's like, "What's wrong, Philly?" And
he's living with his mom.
Yeah. And he just
He's like, yeah, actors don't make that much money, actually.
Nobody appreciates me. She goes, What happened? What happened? Nobody watched Hunger Games 3, and nobody even gets me. It's like nobody even give a shit about me. Nobody help me.
Does he still
fuck you, mom?
Does he have the big gut?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's a huge guy. His mom's like, I like Hunger Games 3. I thought it was good.
And I like your stomach.
You're my mom. You have to say that. You don't get it. Nobody likes me. I don't have any friends.
All right, sweet. Just take some heroin and calm down.
She's injecting
Yeah, she gives him the needle. Yeah.
And he goes in his room. He puts on the Doors.
Right.
He puts on his
The
footsie
Doors,
pajamas.
Yeah.
He listens to the end.
He died to Jim Morrison saying, come on, 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 come on. Or what is it?
Touch me, babe.
Yeah.
Ba-da-ba-da.
But his
Can't you
records-
see that I am fucking gay?
All right.
And I don't have AIDS.
And I don't have AIDS. Da-da-ba-da. The door is to the closet that I am coming out of because I am gay. We're called the Doors. It's the door to a closet.
Right.
Ba-dum-bum-ba.
All right.
Yeah. Cram Morrison.
Rubbers. Wait.
Cram Morrison.
Or wait,
Hey,
Jim Morrison.
Cram
right?
more in, son.
Oh, Jim Moore and Son.
Rubbers in my ass. Boom, boom, boom,
Right.
boom.
What is that? Riders on the Storm?
Riders on the Storm.
Oh, yeah.
You got it.
Oh,
Yeah.
jacking off to porn.
Yep, there we go.
It's
There we-
gay. It's gay porn.
Back to Phantoms in the Brain by Dr. V.S. like Ramakadian,
the
whatever.
Dr. Ramachandran.
Yeah, whatever.
It's a good book.
It's a very good book. I remember reading it as a kid. He talks about, speaking of
You read it as a child?
Yeah, as
Yeah.
a young boy, I was reading. That's kind of true. As like a 15-year-old, I was reading about phantom limb syndrome.
I picture you as like a
neuroscientist.
6-year-old. Can I get Robert Dad?
I got made fun of it for my basketball. I went on a summer basketball camp with my team, and all these people are died in Afghanistan now. But they like fucking, and they should because they sucked ass. They were so mean, and I was just trying to
But
read.
they weren't even fighting over there.
Yeah. they just tried to ride their jet ski to Afghanistan.
Yeah. They tried to rob a bank in Afghanistan, got shot.
That's right. We were on like the bus trip to the basketball tournament. I was just reading this book, trying to learn and like get out of this fucking meth addicted small town.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Was it Phantoms in the Brain? What? Jason got Phantoms in the Brain?
Yeah.
Fucking gay Phantoms."
You're reading a book that says how to never have friends.
to be fair, Jace was reading the book out loud in Dr. Ramachandran's voice.
Now go do the thing with locked in syndrome. No, if I did that, they would have loved me. I would have had all the friends, and then they just made fun of me the whole week, and I hated it.
So tell us about this book. Tell us about your new book, Mr. Ramachandran.
Right. What the thing is, thank you, Charlie Rose. No, he speaks about, you're talking about specifically about, hey, all these paranormal things, they can't be real. I lean more towards, there's even this thing, I forget the name of it. It's literally a very powerful magnet they can put on your skull in certain parts of your skull, and whatever part of your skull they put it on will basically turn on that part of your brain because you're getting like magnetic waves.
Sexually?
No. Like even like just like if you put it like in the fear response section of your brain, it'll make you very afraid. Why are you laughing?
Because Kevin was trying to force a. I feel like Kevin was trying to be me. And then he looked at me like, oh, did you like that? Like Kevin tries to make a joke and looks at me. He's like, am I doing it right?
Right.
And it's not fucking inspired, Kevin. You have to be possessed by the retarded spirit and let it flow through you.
Dude, I can impersonate Benny.
Yeah. Kevin's like a little kid trying to shave in the mirror, like looking at his dad.
Yeah.
Who's just Ben. Yeah.
But I'm using just the razor, not the
Yeah. And
That's
you're
right.
just putting on blackface. Yeah.
Right.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Anyway, So they use this machine. They can put it on the part of your brain that it has a religious experience. And people, when they turn that on, people actually see God and talk to all their dead relatives. And according to them, it's like the realest experience in the world. And they've studied this in people who've had strokes, and that part of their brain believe that they've had a genuine religious experience where God told them they are the Messiah or what have you. So for me, I think it's much more likely that, and I know we can get to this whole thing of like what is real anyway, but there's like, I know this cup is realer than the thought in my head of God. You know what I mean? To even have a talk about this, I think we have to like accept that ground rule. You know what I mean?
Well, if you're going into like real quick.
If you're going into like the Descartes thing or whatever.
Yeah, not to get into like a semantical type thing, but if we just like decide like, well, nothing could be real, it's like, well, then we can't even talk about it. You know what I mean? So assuming like this cup is more real than the thought of like God, I think those things that are ethereal, I think are much more likely to be caused by just something fucked up in somebody's brain that causes all these hallucinations, auditory and visually, that we know about already. That seems like the much more likely culprit to me.
It makes sense. I mean, a lot of the theories for dreams are just your brain trying to interpret random electrical firing. I mean, that's one of the theories.
Your brain kind of sorting through the day, basically.
Yeah, I mean, human beings, we're prone to see faces. Like we will find faces in everything. So there's a lot of things that we do to just take shortcuts and whatnot.
Right. Our default response to our perspective, like a default perspective on things. If you see a cloud, you're more likely to see a face.
I think the more interesting paranormal thing to delve into is the idea of even your thoughts, and you're just doing a lighter. Far out, man. I think the much more interesting thing to dive into paranormally is the idea of, well, what is my consciousness anyway? You know, it's my shitty True Carry ripoff.
No, but yeah. I mean, that's the whole thing is that what can you know to be true, and that you know that you have thoughts.
Right,
and that's the only thing you know.
Like
that
getting into
exist.
a meditative state and being like, oh, we're all kind of like the same exact thing. You know, I pretend to separate myself.
Well, some people go the other way. It leads to solipsism, which is the belief that only your own mind is the only thing you know to for sure.
It's the only thing you can approve to exist. Yeah.
Is Jesse Ventura here? Just want to call in and dive in on this one real quick. So you're saying that it's all a simulation?
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah, because what's going to stop the government from coming in and tying in to your neural network into your brainstem? You know what I mean?
Hillary?
I don't think any of this is. I'll be completely honest. I don't think any of this is real.
Yeah, it's probably not.
I don't think anything. I think. Dude, think of it this way. Like anything that is important to you right now, like in this moment, probably won't be like 90% of it won't be important to you in like a year. And let's go even further. Let's say maybe 30% of it won't be important to you in like a week.
Right.
So like in 5 years, the likelihood of anything that's important to you right now being important to you in 5 years is probably not true.
99% of the things you worry about never actually happen.
Right.
Yeah.
Which it almost it's like if that is the case and you tend to over worry and think about all these things all the time. And then like a year later, you forget that you're even friends with that person or that fight happened or you couldn't pay your bill, like whatever it is. It's just like, well, then that, in theory, then it is kind of a simulation. It is all kind of fake.
Well, I mean, that's a thought. I think that's a thought I've been kind of using that these past couple weeks to kind of bring myself back to like level. Is that thought of where I'll get very upset about something and then I've literally been thinking to myself, I'm like, this is a fucking video game. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? We're all dying very soon. Just calm the fuck down.
Or not even. It might not even be death. I don't even think death is real at this point.
I mean, yeah, who knows? I don't know.
That's the bottom line. You know, we don't know. But I think, death is real as to the observers of the death. You know what I mean?
Well, sure, but fuck them.
Yeah.
Fuck what everybody else thinks.
Yeah, just respect.
You're pissed off about mourning.
Well, those are just haters. Haters make a death real because when you die, people go, "Oh, he fucking is dead."
I go, Ben.
He's
hey, we're
a
going
dead piece of shit.
You're one of those like pieces of shit who's like, dude, we die because we believe we're gonna die. That's the only reason.
Yeah,
Ben calls funerals hate fests. Fucking hating on this guy, dude. All sad. Stop crying, bro.
Funerals are bullshit.
Take off the black. Put on a Hawaiian shirt.
Why does everybody have to mourn in the same way? Like, that's why funerals are fucking stupid and it's mandated by the government. No, it's mandated by the government. You have to dispose of a body in a particular way. Like you have to pay. You have to buy a death certificate. You have to pay.
I don't think what you do with the body is probably going to change.
Why can't I bury people in my backyard after I kill them?
It's because the dogs would dig them up.
Yeah, that's for
Gracie
sure.
would walk in with a human skull trying to play fetch with it.
Plus
that's kind of cool though.
Yeah.
And then I could take the skull and put it in a bowling ball.
you go over to you go, Emma, what do you have in your mouth? And she's just chewing on a dick. You have to get the dick out of her mouth. You're playing tug of war with it. It's got all stretchy.
Give me the dick.
Yeah.
It's Jace's dick because you murdered him.
What the fuck, man?
I
killed him.
I was just trying to think of a dick big enough for you could play tug of war with. And that yours dick is the only one I could think of.
Get my dick out your mouth.
Get my dick out your mouth.
It's just shitty that everything is monetized and we're forced to mourn in a certain way because people are depending on making money from it. I just think that sucks ass.
Well, I don't know. What do you?
You don't legally have to have a funeral. You know.
No, not a funeral, but you still have to pay for like a plot of land to bury somebody, or you have to pay to get someone cremated.
Donate to science.
Yeah, you can donate to science.
So then you don't have to pay for a death certificate or anything?
I don't know, man. I don't really. Thankfully, I don't know.
What about the ambulance that takes the body away? What about the ambulance that takes the body away?
What about it?
Did you have to pay for that?
You mean the hearse?
Who's paying for that? Are my tax dollars going toward that?
You don't pay taxes for stuff.
They probably do at some point.
I mean, I wouldn't know.
That is a weird thing. If somebody dies in your home, you have to call the cops. That is a weird thing because the cops literally have to come over.
No,
that's
fuck cops. No cops.
Yeah, my grandpa just died, and the cop walks in to just like do a legal death.
Am I being detained?
You're like, pig. I know my rights.
I know my rights.
I'm a sovereign citizen, bitch.
Didn't your grandpa just die? Fuck you. And then I spit.
I let up a huge joint.
Just one of those complete dumbasses.
Like, I'm just trying to take your grandpa to the funeral.
Sir, I'm just at a job I hate right now, and you're making this a real big thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's such an absurd thing to be angry at the fact that you have to bury the dead.
No, you understand what I'm talking about.
Do I?
Do you have no idea what I'm talking about. So
I know
this is the thing you do where you act like I am speaking alien noises and you're going, this guy over here is speaking a language no one can understand.
I don't understand the problem with you're like society makes us bury the dead. The government.
No, I'm not saying people shouldn't be buried. It's just I think the system is set up in place. First of all, if you don't have a funeral for somebody, I'm pretty sure people would look down on that. They'd be like, they didn't have a funeral for, people would talk shit about someone if they didn't.
I know that you're being, satirical. You don't really care about this. And then when you defend it and you're like, you really had no clue what I'm talking. Now I'm thinking, wait, you really do have a problem with the fact that we have to bury the dead.
It's not burying the dead. It's the process that you have to go through. From what I've talked to people about it, it seems somewhat painful. And that from what I understand, you have to buy a death certificate to prove to the government that this person is dead.
Well, yeah, I mean, there is a reason for that, though. So you're not just killing people, you know what I mean?
Well, and the death certificate so that you can essentially get out of their debts or break contracts, legal contracts with somebody because they're dead.
This is like
you guys really love the man.
Life insurance.
This is like the most libertarian thing I've ever heard.
It's bullshit, dude.
Yeah, wait, Jace, you always do this thing where you're like, that's the most libertarian.
But why can't you just get a death certificate? Like, why do you have to pay for one?
Here's the first off. None of us know the process of this.
Well, probably because somebody has to pay for the paper or the person that prints it out and all that type of shit. And you have to have the legal document in order to go file for, all the shit to get their money out of the bank and all this stuff. I mean, there's, a process, and it's nice to have a piece of paper to give to somebody as opposed to carting around the dead body of your father, so you can get his inheritance money or whatever. You
as
take
proof.
Yeah. It's just a legal document.
You just don't have to chop his hand off and
so
keep
people
showing it to
aren't
people.
faking their own deaths and getting out of shit.
I'm starting to see I am the retarded one on this end of the argument.
It's just a function, Oh, and I know you're full of shit. You're just fucking around. But that's why it was so funny when you're like, hey, how is this crazy?
Could there be a better way to do it, though, you think?
Yeah, just put everybody in a cannon and just shoot them.
You need to do an infomercial that comes on at 2:30 in the morning. There's got to be a better way. Like, somebody's at a funeral. Has this ever happened to you?
Right.
There's got to be a better way when it comes to getting healthcare, when it comes to getting proper coverage, when it comes I feel like all this stuff. There's got to be a better way.
All of America is completely fucked in how it operates. It's like the most retarded shit of all time. Like, try to get therapy in America. It's like one of the most difficult things you can do. Or try to get medication, like for like psychological reasons. It's like one of the most difficult things in the world.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't even know what number to call if I needed a consultation. But from what I understand, if you want a consultation for something, it could take upwards of like a month to get it.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. You just got to type it into the search engine and search around. I had a hell of a time trying to find a therapist, though. I had to do the online thing, and that was no fun.
I saw that there's this app now where you can get a therapist and you can just text them and call them.
BetterHelp. I did that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I heard it's a scam also. Some people think it's a scam because it's not licensed people.
Well,
it seems to just be an app to just have someone who pretends to give a shit about you.
Yeah.
If you don't have anyone in your life that cares about you.
It was almost like an auto response where I'm just like, I'm bleeding out right now. Dear God, dear God, what's going to happen? I'm going to die. I've just murdered my whole family. And then they're like, have you considered jogging?
Really?
Yeah. No, I didn't.
We should download it and tell them that we killed a bunch of people.
I don't think we should do that. We could probably do something that's a little bit less legal, has less legal ramifications.
Tell them that we're gay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they have to call the cops on us. We just hear like a SWAT team burst through our windows.
As soon as you type in I'm gay into the app.
A flash bomb just slides into the living room. You're like, what's that? You're just stumbling around reaching for dicks.
Put the ass down, sir. Put the ass down. Let me see your cock.
Yeah.
So back to, I guess, the thesis of the whole thing we're kind of talking about then is, so Jace writes it off. Jace writes off a lot of the supernatural, which I'm totally fine with.
Well, now I'm being attacked. Any disagreement is an attack.
Would you feel comfortable? Would you say you've done enough research? Like, have you tried a Ouija board? Have you tried to speak to the dead? Have you tried to summon the dead?
No.
Would you be interested in trying to do that?
No, because I'm also not. I'm not saying. Here's the thing: is I'm not saying like it's fucking dumb. You know what I mean? I'm saying that's just what I think on it. But I also wouldn't ever want to bring that energy into my life. You know what I mean? Because I'm scared of it.
I think that's
interesting. I think that's how most people. I'm not saying, like I said, I'm not saying like if you believe in this, you're fucking retarded. I'm saying like I think like most things. I get that. I think like most things in life, it's like unfortunately the kind of boring answer is the one that's right. You know what I mean?
I kind of get that. It's like if you read that book House of Leaves, and I had a friend that read that and just went paranoid.
It's me. I read that book.
No, but Travis also read it, and Travis said he got super paranoid and started hearing voices in the house, and he couldn't finish the book. And books can definitely put you in that mindset. So you're saying if you started dabbling in Ouija boards and stuff like that, it could start fucking with your head.
Yeah, I think it can definitely fuck with your head, and then all of a sudden, it's like the number 23. If you're looking for something, you're going to find it. You know what I mean? And then if you're worried you're bringing all this dark energy into your life, like why would you? It's the same reason I don't watch like Faces of Death videos or shit like that. It's like, why would I put that energy into my head?
Yeah, the art you consume can kind of affect your day to day.
Yeah, for sure.
What if we took the pod on the road and just had like the mobile recorder, and we go to some witch craft place and try to resurrect somebody from the dead?
See, I don't like that. I wouldn't want to do that.
You don't want to try to resurrect somebody from the dead?
Because I'm like, if it is real, why would I want to open a doorway to something? You know what I mean?
But what if it's Chris Farley?
If it's Chris Farley? Yeah.
If we can resurrect Chris Farley?
So are you worried about your mental health, or do you think a ghost could like chop your head off or something?
No, maybe both. You know what I mean? It's the same reason like I don't go skydiving. I'm like, you could do that.
Would you spend the night in a house that was so-called haunted?
Yeah, I would do that for no reason.
I'm saying is like
no, I wouldn't, because I would be scared. I don't want to do something that's like just scary to me for no reason.
So you do think it's real then?
I don't think it's real, but I'm scared of it. I don't think it's real or not real. I'm not taking a hardline stance on it.
Your gut reaction tells you it's not real, but if you put yourself in a situation where there might be ghosts, you would get scared.
When I get on an airplane, I know I'm not going to crash and die, but I'm still very scared of it. You know what I mean? There's a difference between your emotions and your brain.
Yeah.
Dude, we went to a cemetery once, me and my buddies, and my buddy had a little meteorite rock.
Okay.
And there's this lady that was like a super spiritual person that he worked with at his school, was like saying that if you put the meteorite, it increases supernatural visions or whatever. So he put the meteorite on his ajna, which is like his third eye.
Okay.
Which this is him explaining that she told him this thing.
Right.
And then we went out to a cemetery and just hung out for a little while, and like we recorded it and everything. It was for the first podcast that I did, and it's not anywhere, but
did anything happen?
Nothing happened. But
Yeah.
we really wanted something to happen. We were trying to investigate the ghost of La Llorona, which is like the
wailing woman.
The wailing woman.
Yeah.
And it's there was apparently there was activity out in a place by Fresno called Snake Road. And nothing happened. I was so bummed out.
Yeah, it's just like even like you telling that story about the meteorite, like my gut reaction is like, just fuck this lady, who said these things.
Well, she, by the way, when she found out what he did, because he told her, because he thought it was hilarious, she like flipped out, he said, and was like screaming at him and like, you shouldn't do that. I can't believe you did that. You really shouldn't have done that.
Right.
Like, was like flipping out.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Is like when you talk to all these people who are really into it, I just think all of them are dumb. You know what I mean?
I like that point of view, and I hope that's
the amount of dates I've gone on with just women in LA who are like, yeah, I'm into like Reiki healing, and I pay $200 for a woman who's a Reiki healer to take the bad
I'm into
energy.
Rafi healing.
Rafi,
yeah,
the kids singer.
Yeah, I like Rafi healing. I just listen to Rafi.
Yeah.
The guy dress up in the suit and just put his hands a quarter inch away from my skin, and it always helps me to feel better. Ben, you are frowning into the middle of nothing.
Well, I'm just trying to think of those people that Jason. It is interesting because those people that like if you believe in there's light and there's dark, why would you spend the majority of your emotional energy just seeking out the dark?
Well, and
like why not just seek out the light?
Because I think that's the thing is like when I interact with these people, to me it reads the same as religion. It reads the same as religion, but it's for people who are too cool to be religious, so they can't be Christian because they know that's bullshit. Because the people around them think it's bullshit.
Yeah,
but it is so painful to a lot of people to exist in the boring nothingness that is actual life. We're just atoms slowly breaking apart. And that's a very terrifying thought to a lot of people. So I think people want there to be more. So they will invest in this bullshit, dark art stuff to believe that there is more out there.
I think a lot of people, I totally agree with you. I think that a lot of rich people actually do it because they think there's something cool about it. They love those people like Maria Abramovich.
Abramovich, yeah.
That lady, or they're into masks, or they're into handcuffs or weird fucked up satanic paintings. Because the people who are kind of wealthy but not uber wealthy live somewhat meaningless lives, somewhat empty lives.
People just want
it's like a cool I wore this mask to
people
a party.
just want there to be people are also looking for control. I remember when I was a kid, I used to do this thing. I figured it was more common when I got old. I thought it was a weird thing. I would count if we were driving on the highway, between fucking telephone poles, I would try to count to 7 and time it perfectly between poles just over and over and over again.
Yeah.
I would try to take 3 steps before every crack in a sidewalk.
Did I ever tell you I did that too?
It's a very common thing. And I looked up the reason for it is it's a desire for control. It's like an OCD type thing. So it is people trying to gain control of their life, which they ultimately have no control over. And that idea is so scary to people. Maybe it's not scary. It's very depressing to a lot of people, I think. That you're just here and there's no grand thing that's going to fix everything. It's just always going to be how this moment is. It's going to be that forever.
Well, I think that's why, for me, logically, it makes sense that the ultra wealthy are into occults and shit like that, because if you're ultra wealthy, you have enough money to kind of get whatever you want. You know what I mean? But you can't buy love. And you can't buy a supernatural experience and shit like that. If they're trying to
you can't buy talent.
Yeah.
Intellect.
It's all that type of shit where
Humor.
It's just how do I get it
likability?
All? How do I
charm.
get everything? Because if you're consuming wealth and you're just trying how do I get, I'm not, and so you're trying to incarnate that shit.
And then I think it can manifest in a lot of things. I think, I think therapy became a new religion for me for a while, where there's There's this thing I talk about in therapy. Like, there's always like this idea that like there's some idea of heaven that I can get to, and I think a lot of people live with this, where there's the current moment, and then there's a future version of my current moment where everything's all of a sudden there are no troubles.
Right?
Everything's fucking easy street. And it's always like this grass is greener type thing. Like, it'll be better one day than it currently is. Even if it currently is good,
right,
compared to other people, it'll get better one day. And I think people look for ways to try and make that possible, because if you accept the fact that you're like, oh, how I feel now is pretty close to how I'm going to feel forever,
right,
barring, addiction or severe mental illness or something, I think that would take a lot of hope out of people. And I think people need that kind of hope just to go through their fucking boring, doldrum lives.
Yeah.
So I think clinging to this paranormal type shit in any facet that it can be, whether it be self-help, ghosts, Reiki healing, tarot cards, it's just people trying to be like, there's got to be something more, because I don't like this. I don't like what I'm currently in.
Yeah.
So please let there be something more.
Yeah, I guess that's why people escape into something like video games also. Mm-hmm. They can control what their character looks like,
right?
What world they live in.
But it also, Jace,
right?
It could be real.
It could be real. I'm not saying it's not.
You never know.
It could also be both.
Yeah, it could be real. I'm just saying, hey, if you're the person who has 18 tattoos and a septum piercing, stop it with the stuff you're doing sometimes.
Yeah.
Stop getting so into tarot cards.
Identity is such a funny thing too, because people also find their identity in the thing that they're using to seek control with their life.
Right.
And identity, I mean, don't you just see some people, like you're talking about the septum piercing, and do you ever see someone and you just start fucking laughing?
Yes.
And it's not like that person's dumb or they're wrong. It's just funny. It's just that in their mind's eye, you see a guy with a Bass Pro Shops hat and a shirt that says, "Cool story, babe, make me a sandwich,"
right,
and a tattoo of like Woody Woodpecker.
Fucking love that guy.
And this guy, when this guy looks in the mirror, he's going, this is the best version of myself.
He's going, this is exactly what I was going for.
Mm-hmm. I saw a guy on a date that looked somewhat like that with the Bass Pro. And before he walked out, he goes, this is the best version of me.
You remember that guy at the fucking diner that when we were with Tim, we had to leave the diner.
Oh God.
Because the guy came in dressed like, fucking 70s, like he was in the Alabama Shakes. And he just walks, he's like, oh, the big table, the big boy. I love the big boy. Literally like slaps the table aggressively like it's a fucking car he's trying to sell.
May I perchance you in the selection of your wines this evening, my lady? And it's like, it's a lady that barely speaks English. They're 3 a.m. at a shitty diner in Echo Park.
Yeah, she's at her 11th hour of her full shift.
And this guy's just clinging to this identity of, I'm a really fun person. And it's just like,
I'm larger than life.
Like, as he was talking, I wouldn't be surprised if he just started bleeding out of his eyes just onto the fucking table.
A guy who he modeled his personality off of a Saturday Night Live character he saw from the 70s.
He went to one UCB class and he's like, well, this is who I am forever.
My lady.
I remember being on acid at a fucking Lord Huron show at the Greek. Great show, by the way. And I walk into the bathroom and I'm like tripping fucking balls. And sorry for saying tripping balls. I walk into the bathroom and I'm very high on acid. And I see a guy washing his hands and he's dressed like in the middle of fucking Echo Park. He is dressed like Clint Eastwood in A Fistful of Dollars. He has a big flat brim cowboy hat and the poncho going on the front and back of his body and cowboy boots with spurs on them.
Wow.
And he is just washing his hands. And then he has glasses like mine, like these clear frame glasses. And I was so high on acid, I just looked at him. I just started laughing because I was like, the fucking mask you were wearing
He's just
right
like
now.
Tech World Indiana Jones.
Yeah, exactly. It was just like, it was like I saw him as a kid putting on his mom's shoes and his dad's tie, and then walking into like the living room, and just wanting somebody to be like, "Oh, honey, oh wow, you look so grown up."
That's fun. That's a good time,
dude. I did find out. I've been thinking about this week. Some people I went to college with, they do these things that they're like 26, 25, 27, and they're all like young married people, but they don't have kids, and they're starting to get houses.
Yeah.
And like every week they have like these big like dinner parties where they all come over and they all like set the table and have these
like
big
friends.
dinners. And no, it's not because I know these people don't have fun. Friends have fun together.
Yeah.
What these people are doing, Kevin, is they're like playing grown up.
Yeah.
It's very interesting because they don't have kids, but they have these houses and they have this money from their accounting jobs and stuff. And they just like, they all like cook and bring over food, and they're just copying what their parents did, but when their parents were in their 40s.
Yeah. I love a good dinner and whatnot, but there's something that is visceral about that scenario that really kind of like sets me off a little bit. Like, so
somebody trying to orchestrate fun,
right? You go to the door,
or an adulthood.
You're getting ready. They're going, it's adulthood. It's adulthood is what it is. And I think that's why I'm so fucking stuck. It's like the idea of getting ready to go over and you get cleaned up, to go over to somebody's house that has been stressing all fucking day,
all day,
spending a bunch of money on fucking bullshit, and then slaving away. They come in, you're stressing out. You're probably fighting with your wife, but you get there and you're not even going to be fucking real. You're going to you fucking take the dog out. I wouldn't have shit in the living room.
Oh, but you're in the kitchen with your wife and you're having a private convo.
Ding dong. Hey guys. Oh, the Manzanitos are here. Guys, how are you? Oh my gosh, you bought us a bottle of wine. Thank you so much.
Honey, go put it in the wine cellar.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, guys, I got cigars for after the dinner. We're going to go we're going to go do that. And then you sit down and you go, what can I? She goes, let me take your coat. Can I take your coat?
Why don't you show Bradley the deck in the back?
Yeah,
It's almost done.
Yeah,
almost done.
You go back there. You're rocking back and forth from your heel to your toe with a beer in your hand.
Right.
Just going. So, how's everything? Works good. Things have been going well. How about you? Yeah, just got a promotion. I'm working my way up the ladder. Feels good. Kids are doing really good in school. And And
then you have to. I've seen some people where you have to fake this like conversation of like, look at what we've done, like type of thing. Like I've been on that back porch and seen people being like, man, it's crazy, just like what we did.
I've
where
seen,
we are now, and it's like, what is this? We're all dying. Shut up.
I will say I did have a very funny moment with Nathan, my friend in Abilene, who we did crazy shit.
Right.
I mean, he lived in the back house. Behind this house that had no power, and in the winter when it was like 20 degrees, it'd be freezing, and we'd be smoking cigarettes inside, playing Yoshi's Story, getting fucked up.
I walked into that house for 10 minutes one time, and it made me sick being in that house.
Dude, we would get blackout drunk and fall asleep on the floor, and just wake up covered in like bugs and dog hair, and we just thought it was hilarious. We were snorting like hydrocodone off of this book we got.
Jesus.
I'm trying to think of what the book was. I think, it was a Tupac biography.
Right, of course.
And we thought it was funny to cut up hydrocodone and snort them off of it. And then
What is
just drink
hydrocodone?
40s. It's just a pain medication.
Oh.
Yeah.
We'd drink 40s and play Nintendo 64 and smoke cigarettes until we couldn't think anymore. And we'd be freezing cold. We drove every night. I mean, we did crazy stuff in Abilene. There's stories I can't even tell on this podcast for legal reasons that we got ourselves into.
Killed the homeless man.
Specifically this one with the strip club that was fucking crazy. I'll tell you guys off mic.
You raped 3 women.
Raped a bunch. We went down to the Ding Ho and I killed Tony Soprano.
Right.
That's right.
But when Nathan was getting married, Jace, a year ago, I pulled into this. We were with like his Christian family and his Christian parents, and they've disowned him as all Christian parents have when you have a son,
of course,
like me or Nathan,
right?
And it was a house wedding, so it was informal. It was just like he already got married, and they came back, and everybody was praying in the living room, and it was like live, laugh, love, and there's crosses on the thing, and me and him were in the kitchen, and we're looking out at them like, being very nice and very Christian. And I just pulled Nathan to the side and I go, we did such bad things.
Yeah.
We did horrible, horrible things. And he looks at me and he goes, I know.
Yeah.
He goes, I know. I pointed at them. I go, if they had any idea, even like a tenth of what we did, they'd kill themselves. They'd absolutely kill themselves.
Yeah. It's fucking funny, like when you're forced into, like when I go back home, I'll see like on Christmas I saw like a bunch of our family, and it was fine seeing them. I like seeing them, but then there's like they're asking me about my life, which I hate because then I feel
he can't be real.
Well, because I feel pressure to be like, oh man, things are going great. We've got the house; it's like really nice. I got the security job, like making good money, and then it's like I'm just working on myself, and just building the bricks, man.
Yeah, and you see a gun in the corner of the room.
My hand starts reaching for it, and I'm like, I have to like fight myself.
No, their hands reaching for it. I was saying they have a.
Oh, okay.
It's like, why do you have a loaded gun in every room of the house? Like,
Yeah.
no, these things are great, and I want to protect it to keep being good.
Yeah. But I just want to stand up and be like, I'm in hell. We're all in pain.
If you stood up and said that, they would go, me too.
Right.
Yeah, well,
like everybody just turns into Eddie Pepitone.
That's what I was going to say, though, Jace, is those situations, one thing that I've noticed is if you, maybe family, maybe not as much, but I do notice like that those situations where it's just like everybody's putting on a face and just like, just trying to say what they think the other person wants to hear, so they don't really have to engage.
Faces at a party. That's it. Yeah.
I've been in those situations, and sometimes you'll get into a smaller group or whatever, and I'm just going, man, my foot's been bothering me. I've been smoking, smoking. You guys want to smoke some weed? And they'll be like, oh fuck, really? Like it's or just like to say something like, geez. Dad's really having a couple extra ones tonight, or whatever. Just a moment of being real. It will kind of break it up a little bit, you know? Or gosh dang, my wife's really pissing me off, or whatever. People will come back at.
That's what happened in college. I was the first person in my college who was openly going to therapy.
Oh, I thought you said, what did you say, gay?
Yeah, so I was openly out of the closet sucking dick. And people would like, in a Christian college, they'd be very much like, we just like, we want to get into the ministry, and I just love God so much. And then they would come to me privately. People would message me. I'd meet up with them and get coffee.
Yeah.
And they're like, here's the thing. I can only come when I'm choking myself with a belt.
Yeah.
What should I do about that? I'm like, oh, everybody's just fucking diseased. You know?
Yeah.
And just like stuffing it all down. And then if you're the guy who's kind of honest about that, people will treat you. A lot of people either come to you secretly and kind of reveal that, or they'll kind of treat you like you're the crazy person,
Or they'll have the like opinion like, oh, Jesus, my only therapist. I go to Jesus with my problems.
Like with
my Bible.
My drawings, people are like, these are really sad. I'm like, everything I've drawn is a universal emotion that all of you fucking feel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You just choose to focus on the one.
Right. Yeah, for sure. You just focus on like, hey, this doesn't know how I feel. This is sad if you talk about this.
Yeah. It's funny though. I like the one most recent one you did.
Which one? Name it specifically.
It's the one where
name it specifically, you liar.
I got to look it up.
If you loved it so much, how'd you forget it?
You can't even remember what was on it? No, don't look at your phone. What was on it?
I loved it. It was so good. It was.
You have to pull up my phone to find
this one. I loved this one. Yeah, this one. Yeah, that's that one. If I'm famous, everyone will love me.
Right.
That's the one.
Yeah, that's the one you were thinking of your head, but you had to look up.
It wasn't
Elvis Presley. Everyone go give Jace a follow on Instagram.
Oh, I guess
for sure. Yeah.
I guess it wasn't the most recent one. It was one I was thinking of.
What was it?
Hey man, I really value the two men trying to relate, trying to be friends or show affection.
Yeah. Anyway, not a promotion for my fucking Instagram, but you know what I mean.
Anyway,
take a look.
I just find it fucking interesting that people just try to make their lives more boring in order to seek control, and they do it through mimicry. They don't do it through like a creative thought of like, how I'd like to minimize my life and my stress and enjoy myself, and then like just do it. Instead, they're like, what did my parent like? And this is a unconscious thing. They're like, my parents they would have dinner, and everyone would have about 2 drinks, but not one too many.
Yeah.
I'm going to do that with my friends, even though 10 years ago I was in fucking 9th grade.
Right.
It's like, Jesus Christ, guys, you don't even have kids yet. Like, can you chill the fuck out?
Yeah.
Fuck them.
Living, they're living like people that are like retired.
I think the best example of this for me and why it's probably frustrates me so much is I remember we were supposed to have, we used to do family Christmas with the Tinkins where it would be literally everybody in the extended family on my dad's side. And it would be a huge Christmas. It was awesome. And then when my grandpa died and people
because Jay's fucked them,
divorced, and
I fucked his grandpa to death. Yeah.
Fucked a warrior.
He wanted to do anal,
Hey, Bob wants what Bob gets. What Bob wants.
Yeah.
He was shell shocked, dude.
Yeah,
that's right.
Kevin's grandpa was actually Mr. Hands.
That's right. But we've been trying to do it, and one year I remember the host canceled it, and she was like, I just don't have the energy this year. The house is a mess. I don't want to have to be in the kitchen the whole time. And I was like, oh, just order pizza then. It'll be fine. And they were like the scoff to that suggestion that we would just eat pizza. And I'm like, it has nothing to do with this superficial bullshit. We just need to get together and be a family. Like, it's not about, the good crystal is out. That's silverware that you've kept in the drawer that you never touch. It's
they'll
so
focus on
annoying.
these external things, and then everybody's bleeding internally. It's never addressed. Yeah.
Everybody's super sad. You know,
Right.
it's just like it's frustrating. I mean,
Do some people not know that they're like going to die? Like you only get one shot.
Yeah, I think.
Like, and can you have a little fucking fun, or at
Yeah.
least have a unique experience?
Most people really bury that down. I think
it's easy to forget because you're trying to count to 7 between telephone poles or not step on cracks.
And I'll fall victim to it too. Like I said, my victim was like, "Hey, thinking therapy is going to fix everything." It's not. It'll make you better, but it's like at the end of the day, you just have to realize, hey, this is fucking it. You got to learn to just live like that.
I'd like to believe too, because we were talking about like the supernatural and like if what happens after you die type stuff, and
Probably nothing.
But I think the metaphor is
you go to heaven.
The metaphor is
Or
messed
hell.
up because it's like
only hell exists.
I just connect so much, and I just it gives me some version of hope that the Bible was pointing to something in like the Joseph Campbell type of way, where every religion is trying to tell you some sort of universal truth, to where the garden's perfect, just you can live in heaven, but you have to live judgment free. You have to essentially just enjoy what you have as opposed to always judging everything that's going on.
Right.
And I think that you can choose essentially to have heaven on earth, but if things were going so well for you, you'd probably figure out a way to make it hell for yourself. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah,
in comparison or in any of that shit.
Well, yeah, it's just I don't even think I've kind of gotten to the point where I don't even think that heaven on earth thing type really exists. You know what I mean? Like it's just like I think like the better thing for me is just accepting. The way I feel at this like fucking second is okay. You know what I mean?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Accepting what you have.
Yeah. The resistance, I think, is like the hardest part of it. That's more painful than the pain a lot of the times.
Yeah.
Is the resistance to the pain,
Yeah. I don't like pain. I don't like it. I resist it. But I think you've always done a good job of going through the pain to try to get to some deeper truth.
Well, yeah, you only like grow from like the pain and the failure. So like that's if you're not seeking out new experiences and trying new things and trying to develop new skills, then you might as well just be dead.
Yeah. I probably should be dead.
Well, that's another podcast.
Yeah. Probably should be dead.
Yeah. Like you can't just be in like maintenance phase for like your whole life, I think maintenance and rest and all that stuff is important, but fuck, man, I have so many things I want to get into. I'm still not getting into them, but I'm like, fuck, it's still like years have gone by and I'm like, I still want to learn that thing.
Right.
I still want to get into that.
Yeah.
What's holding me back?
Well, there's always something. It's like my buddy Chris, he's been talking about moving to LA forever just to pursue
Chris
Gaines.
Chris Cruz.
Great. Who's Chris Gaines?
That was Garth Brooks' alter ego.
He's a comic.
Is that true?
Yeah, he made an alt rock alter ego, and everybody was like, "This fucking sucks."
Yeah.
Fuck you.
But he's going to be moving out here, and I'm excited to have him around more. But it's something that he's been kind of putting off for a long time, and there's always it was usually like money or something. Like it's just like you just have to kind of do shit. You just have to go and try new things. I don't know how to put that into use, but I do feel like it's a universal truth.
Yeah. Well, it's a weird thing I think I've noticed about like if people ask me, should I move to LA? I've started just being like, no. You know what I mean? Because
it's not about the place. It's about following your conviction.
Exactly. Because people are like, I think a lot of people are like, oh, once I move to LA, it's that same type of thing. That's when my life is going to be magical, is when I move to LA.
Right.
And it's like, you can Oklahoma City has an art scene. You can make art and live in Tempe, Arizona, and just make your fucking art and do the creative things.
In fact, I'd recommend it because it's less saturated.
Yeah, you probably do be able to do it a lot more if you did that. But people have this fucking. I brought this up before. It's that AA saying every town should have on its billboard out like, "Welcome to Springfield." Every town underneath that should have, "This city does not hold any answers either."
Yeah.
Because that's a lot of addict type thinking is like, there's one day my life is going to be magical.
Right. Well, and in the most practical way ever, if you're planning on, if you want to move somewhere to like pursue entertainment, at least if you're thinking about moving to LA, try your shit out at home first. Please hang out in your local scene and try to make it work on your own. It's going to be such a huge leg up.
Right.
I do not understand these people that come out and they're like, my first set I ever did, I want it to be at the Comedy Store.
Right. Well, those people are just retarded.
I want everyone to witness me at my potentially worst phase of my comedy.
And even though I think it is beneficial to live here to an extent, the people I know out here who are successful are focusing on how many people am I reaching online. So, I mean, that's also a factor too. But that's another thing when it comes to when people are looking at, well, when it comes to any art or any entertainment, you want to, like, if you want to be a commercial actor, if you want to act in feature films, yes, you should live here. However, if you can't live here, if you're making short films and posting things online where you're acting, someone might see that, or you might grow a big enough following where you get handpicked.
I think that's the better path now. I mean, people have built like fucking Mike Judge. He built a career just off of making animations just because he was fucking bored.
Yeah.
He entered it like the Frog Baseball, that Beavis and Butthead thing. He entered that into like a film festival, like a short film festival, got like a TV show off of that. So it's like, I think a lot of people are like, a lot of people have this, when I say life is magical, a lot of people have this vague hope that one day somebody's going to look at you and be like, you kid, you're the stuff. In whatever field you want to be in, and be like, kid, I'm going to make you famous and your life's going to be good and there's going to be no more pain. And every street you walk on is going to be paved with gold. It's like, no, it's not. Your life is never.
I want that guy.
Your life is never going to be magical, ever.
And you know what? It's
just start doing things. Start making things.
And that guy still kind of exists, Jace, but he's now they're going, they say, they go, wow, look how many people are looking at that guy.
Right.
I could use that guy because he has people. So that's kind of the difference. But I was going to say, like, in terms of people going, it's interesting in terms of the dinner party people I was talking about, is they do these predetermined paths of like, this is how people enjoy themselves. This is how people have fun.
Right.
The same people do it with the art they try to create, where they go, well, this person moved here and hung out with these types of people and did this, and then they got the thing I want. So I'm going to just follow that A, B, C, D, E. And then most people that you really respect, that really do have unique perspectives, went about it in a totally different, unique way.
Right.
And I think that's what's important, is you don't have to live here. You don't have to live in these two major cities.
Well,
you can create a following or create your thing from fucking anywhere. There's nothing holding you back anymore except for Wi-Fi connection.
America is a land of all or nothing. I think that's kind of an American disease that's kind of put into us, where it's like, I can't just create. I have to be the creator. You know what I mean? Like, you see it, like, it's funny. Like, I used to have to watch hood clips on all these World Star Instagram accounts for my old job.
Yeah.
And you'd see it's like the black version of that was like, I'm trying to build an empire. And it's like, just start a small business, man. You could do that. You know what I mean? Like, open up a garage and fix cars out of it. You don't have to have a media empire to be successful. And I think that all or nothing thing is like, well, if I can't be famous doing it, why would I ever do anything?
Yeah, it's interesting you say that, because I feel like as of the past couple of years, I've actually just focused on my skill set rather than being the creator.
Right,
because I'm like, well, what skills can I keep developing so one day I can be in a position to be a creator.
Right. Stop trying to be in a Marvel movie. Try to get an audience of 30,000 people if you're trying to be a creative
Which is, by the way, almost impossible.
Yeah, it's also almost impossible, but at least you're still making stuff. You know what I mean?
But not impossible.
Yeah.
Well, the goal should be the art that you're creating. I mean, it's the outlet. It's the action of doing. We've talked about this before, that a lot of times you're lying in bed or you're unmotivated to do something, whether it be go to the gym or create art or invest in anything positive in your life, and you hate it and you don't want to do it, and you finally do it and you feel good about it.
Right.
You go, oh, I'm so glad I did that.
Yeah.
And then the next day comes around and you go, I should be drawing right now, or I should be writing jokes or anything. And then you go, no, I'm not going to do that. And then you do it and you're like, oh, I feel great.
Well, there is an interesting, I think, dynamic, at least for me, when you're like making art, is like, my therapist talks about this sometimes, where she's like, she gets a little like hopey dopey and she's like, well, shouldn't the goal of art be just to making it? And I'm like, in my opinion, I don't think art exists unless it has an audience. That's part of the artistic process. So for me, a lot of it is like, oh, I want to make something so I can show all these people.
Yeah, but often the best art does not take the audience into account at all.
I think I disagree in that. I disagree. It takes the audience into account, but not all of the audience. And it takes it into account where it's like, I'm going to do to this audience what I want to do to the audience, not what this audience wants done to them.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. And a lot of it is when they talk about your voice or a true artist isn't influenced by the masses and things like that. That's what I'm talking about.
But when like David Lynch like makes a movie, he's probably like, I'm making this scene because it's really going to fucking disturb anybody who's watching this movie. Like, good art, you still have to care about the audience, but also like, fuck them. They're not getting what they want. They're getting what I give them.
Yeah, or that's what I'm saying.
Or you could look at it like a singular person where if you're let's say if you're a stand-up, you think, okay, Louis C.K. is in the back of the room and that's the only guy I'm playing to.
Right.
Because he has the best taste in comedy to me. And you could play it that way. Or if you're, who has that quote, Jason? When you're writing, act as if you're writing to your dearest, closest friend who you value his opinion the most.
I don't know.
Someone wrote that, but I think that's kind of you're playing to an audience of one rather than an audience of whatever.
Right. Assume the audience has the taste that you respect. You know what I mean?
Ben, I think you out of all people would understand that, you gotta do stuff that makes you laugh. You know what I mean? That's it's at least not with art in general, maybe not so much, but
I've tried to go the other way. I've tried to do the thing that you're pushing against, and I just can't do it. So I think some other people could some people could write a joke in John Mulaney's voice, or I think some people could draw a cartoon that's like Dilbert with the same, and I can't. I can only do it the way I think I can do it.
If I drew a cartoon like the ones I see that get 20,000 likes on Instagram, I'd fucking throw up.
No, I don't think I don't think I'm smart enough and talented enough to know how to do that.
I know how to do it. If I did it, it would make me fucking. I would hate myself for doing it.
Prove it.
Like I go on the Instagram Explore page and I see these like artists who like have like 1 million followers, and it's stuff where it's like. There's a one called like Nugget, the character, it's a little chicken nugget, and he just posts stuff. He's like, hey, remember that you're valuable and you're loved. And I was like, ugh, this sucks.
That's so funny because it's exactly what you need. You're like, it's like speaking right to you.
It's fucking the gayest shit ever.
Yeah.
It's because it's not real. It's so empty. It's so empty and vapid and not real.
It's a live, laugh, love.
It's a live, laugh, love shirt. Yeah, exactly.
It's scripting. It's scripting. It's just mimicking another thing.
Right.
Well, I think what you're pointing at is it's counterfeit. You know what I mean? Anything that's counterfeit, any counterfeit is not going to be valuable as an original. Even if you're counterfeiting gold and the original piece of shit is still a piece of shit.
Right.
At least it's original. I was talking about my own comedy right there. Look,
so Kevin, I do agree with what you're saying, but for me, it's not a choice, unfortunately. Like when it comes to, you have to do stuff that makes you laugh. It's like, I don't really have an option. It's not like this noble choice I'm making.
I totally agree with you, but at the same time, I think you are smart enough to sit down and go through headlines. And like if somebody hired you to write
that shit's
jokes,
easy.
you could do that.
Yeah.
You could manufacture a set that was, catering towards Hollywood right now. You're aware of enough of this stuff. It would kill you inside.
Maybe it's just too painful for me to do, so I can't even consider it an option.
Yeah.
Maybe that's it. But you're right. I could write.
Well, that's when it becomes more of, I think, just a job. You know what I mean?
But also it's a part of like sell. You got to fucking sell it. And I don't think I'm enough of a sociopath to go up there and pretend that I think this shit is good when I fucking hate it.
Right. Well,
and that was a hard part with doing stand up for me, is I would go up there and I would know I'm not as good as the legends doing it. I mean, no fucking shit, of course.
Yeah.
But like, it was always in the back of my mind. It's just like, I'm not good. And I can't stand up here and pretend that I'm good, because that's fake.
Yeah, it's judgment. I mean, it's judgment of yourself, because if you were able to, and this is how I think in my head, is if I can get past all those judgments, if I can get past all those goalies in the way between, my mouth and my thoughts, that I don't sit in judgment and all this shit, it's usually a lot better. I usually am able to connect to me. I feel good about it.
Right. Well, I think what you naturally want to do is a little more like what you naturally like is a little more accessible than certainly what Ben, likes and wants to do. And that's okay. That's just both of your guys.
I don't know if
paths that you need to walk down.
As much as I'd like to point to my purity and my good-hearted kindness, and that's why I don't know if that's what it is. If I've just been through shock treatment therapy, that I get very uncomfortable when we start talking about, anything that's, taboo or whatever. And that's why this is, therapy is to like just riff on, Chinese Tracy Chapman or whatever. It's like to try to get it, you know what I mean? To try to get me used to and getting past those things. Cause I may have the same style of humor as Ben.
Okay.
But I taper it all down to something that's acceptable.
Right.
In my mind, acceptable to everybody. You know? I mean, not to everybody, but, I don't know. Like I don't know. Cause I still feel like I'm searching for that thing that's like, oh, I fucking love this shit. You know?
Yeah, you should read like Self-Reliance by Ralph Waldo Emerson. It's a really good. It's hard to read, but it's
Did you read it to me?
No, I won't. I will never talk to you. Outside this podcast, we never talk.
The irony of you reading Self-Reliance to me.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, sorry, I missed that. He talks about his whole thesis on that is like if you're making art or trying to live your life, the goal should be to be intrinsically 100% who you are.
Yes.
And speak to the things that are inside you that are important to you because, and this is like the hinging point of his whole thesis, because all of us are really pretty much the same. Like we all pretty much have the same consciousness with different parts stamped into it. If you speak to something that's inside of you and is universally, like the universe beaming through you, true, and you speak that out, people will recognize that part in themselves. And that's how you make great art, is by taking what's inside you, putting it out here, and then that is like some shining light for other people.
Yeah, and I think you need to like understand on top of that, like kind of what you mean to people.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's important because I think that's when everything clicks. Because then you go, oh, this is why people like me.
Right.
This is why people enjoy my stuff. And once you can see it from their perspective, then you can live in that space.
I have such a hard time with that. I really do.
Well, that's the whole thing. That's the fucking golden secret of the whole thing is like removing that blind spot finally.
Especially in stand-up. You have to know how people are perceiving you, and you kind of like eventually, if you're doing it long enough, you come up with a character that's who you are, and kind of like the hat the peg you hang your hat on for the rest of your career.
Yeah.
Is like, like Brian Regan, he's like I'm the dumb guy.
Yeah.
I'm the dumb loud guy. You know what I mean? Mark Maron's like, I'm the cynical old guy railing against everything.
Bill Burr's the angry, blue collar, whatever.
Right, exactly. And the genius of Bill Burr, like you'll see people kind of disappear into that and kind of lose it over time when they get successful. Like the genius of somebody like Bill Burr is he knows his character still has to be an angry dumb guy. That isn't right. That's his character. So if like he gets too many applause breaks, he'll literally say, he's like, don't cheer, I'm a fucking idiot. You know what I mean?
I always point to Burr as a successful guy where it's like, well, look at, like, I always study what he's doing in his life because I find it very fascinating because he has all this money now and all this success, but what is he doing? He's learning how to fly helicopters. I know you also need a lot of money to do that. But what else is he doing? He's teaching himself how to bake.
Right.
Yeah.
Play
drums.
He's learning how to play drums. Like
fixing up old cars.
He keeps learning all of these skills.
Right.
Which I think is I think a healthy person who, again, is like tapped into that higher thing that makes someone a successful person is, that's kind of the world you live in is you go, let me go fail. Let me go figure something out. Let me go get my ass kicked by something and get frustrated and then overcome it. It
is a real mindset. You it's almost like a vibration you have to tap into. This vibration of just fuck it, just fuck everybody else like in my life.
I was in the opposite state of mind the other day, and I failed hard at the Ice House the other day.
Because you were trying to please everybody?
I don't know. I think I was just, I was in my head a ton, very self-conscious. I showed up and Voki was like, I ate it,
he's another comic for anyone listening.
Yeah, he's on Metzger's podcast. And he's like, I need to take a walk around the block. Can you host for the next like 4 or 5 polls? And I was like, yeah. And I just was like not in the right headspace. So I went up there and did a set because he introduced me, and it was fine, but it was just like I could feel myself showing how self-conscious I was on stage. And man, it fucking sucks. I hate that shit.
Yeah.
I get in my head so often. And it's a fucking bummer, man.
You know what really helped me in stand up with that, because I used to blow big shows a lot when I was still doing stand up. I used to blow big shows because I would get so nervous and I wanted to go. So
who's big shows?
Big shows,
yeah.
Big J Okerson, Earthquake, Bruce, couldn't open for any of those guys.
Ralphie
May, I killed him. Had such a bad set, he died of a heart attack. What helped me is like literally before I go up, I go, okay, let's go bomb. You know what I mean? Like literally, like you're worried about bombing, go try to bomb. And if you do that, you'd literally go up with this energy of like, you'd say something incredibly, for me, something I really want to say that's offensive and shocking. And then the act of me walking up there with this attitude of fuck it, I don't give a shit what you think about me.
Yeah.
That allows me to be funny and actually have a good set.
A great way to interpret that is instead of going, let me go be perfect, you're just like, let me try to go overcome something.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm giving myself the permission to fail because it's like, yeah, go fucking bomb. That's what you were trying to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when you do try to, it's this weird like fucking mind trick. When you are going up with that intention, you almost always succeed if you're good at it.
Well, I usually, for shows and stuff, I always feel like I can get into the right set, even if it's totally manufactured. There's something about a show where something like clicks, and especially like open mics and shit, I will start thinking about the comics' opinions of me, and it's so toxic.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm telling you, those open mics are not good for you. They're not healthy environments.
I don't think
you don't even
either.
have to talk about that in a comedy perspective. Just in a life perspective, that is something that will completely ruin your life. And it's done that for me for a long time. It's something I still struggle with.
Right.
Is walking through life caring about what other people think about you.
Well, and you want to be, if you want to be good at something, go around people that are good at that thing. What Harvey Penick, the great golf instructor,
for sure,
his student said, how do I get better at putting? And he said, go to dinner with good putters.
Right.
And that's literally true. If you just hang around people who are good at putting and know how to putt, it's just, you're going to start to think of yourself as a good putter.
Right.
And you're going to start putting better.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think also just maybe this might be advice for somebody like me who's more of an anxious type person, but just realizing like it does not matter what people think about you. It will never fucking matter
intellectually
ever.
I mean I could be given the same speech,
right? But you got to learn to step into that and actually fucking be able to carry that when you walk through life. I know, and I'm trying to. I'm doing it sometimes.
I immediately get defensive because it's so right on the head.
You have to be a person that they see it and they go, I want to be that.
And you have to be a person that somebody sees you and they're like, fuck this guy, and that's good too. You have to be okay with that
because it makes them insecure.
You have to be okay. Well, that's the thing is like if you're doing good art or being like a person you want to be or like being successful in whatever endeavor, there's going to be at least one guy who's like, fuck that guy.
Right.
And that's okay. That's actually good that somebody's saying, fuck that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like I'm turning into Gary V tonight.
You really are. But it's good. I mean, live, laugh, love, fucking nerds. But this is good. No, I think it's all good. But I consider your guys' opinions, when anytime, all the thoughts that I go on through this podcast it's usually when I'm pulling up Twitter going, I'm going to tweet today. And then I'll start to do something. I'm like, that's not cool for the East Side, or Ben's going to think this is dumb, or not Ben usually, but Jace though definitely will.
Yeah, no, definitely.
He'll be like, he'll send me a text. He'll be like, "What the fuck was up with that?"
And I'll respond to it once it gets 0 faves. After an hour, I'll just respond, "Yikes!"
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm afraid of posting anything under my real name.
Yeah,
because of the way I just hate that I'm not in control of the perception. Rogan was actually talking about this with Bill Maher because Rogan was talking to Louis. And they were talking about tweets and stuff like that. And Louis said, what's interesting is when something's in print, people interpret it differently.
Right.
He goes, because it's just talk. So if you say to someone, oh, she's a dumb bitch, people go, yeah, she's kind of a dumb bitch. Mm-hmm. But if it's in print, it's like, and then he said, you're a dumb bitch. People go, oh my God.
Right.
What did he say?
Yeah.
Fuck him.
Well, then it becomes theater of the mind. It's like the same way a horror movie's scary if you don't see the beast. It's like that same thing.
Well,
you're allowing my imagination to paint what that was.
The logic of the person that gets outraged at that is the same logic of the people that think that they actually have friends because of Facebook. You know what I mean? It's that same type of shit where it's like, this is not real. You're not going to be able to interpret exactly what's going on because you weren't in the room when it happened. And you're not in that guy's fucking brain. You don't know what their intentions were.
Right.
Everything's filtered completely. And you don't know what that guy's communication set is. You know what I mean? So he may even say things that he doesn't even mean. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and also you know what I've been trying to study, Kevin, when it comes to social media? How do very successful people treat social media? And here's how they treat it. They don't read replies. They don't read mentions.
Yeah.
They don't read DMs. And they usually use it as a source of like positivity and light. And a lot of highly successful people don't use it at all.
Yeah.
At all. So,
Well,
but look at how everybody else uses it. They're reading every reply. They're replying to people. They're replying to people's shit. They're posting just any thought about like fuck today or fuck this day or this is bullshit, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
It's just like, and then you look, they usually have like no followers. No one cares what they say.
Right.
No one likes any of their stuff. Not that that makes you a loser.
Right.
But
Kind of a little bit.
yeah, I mean, you should kill yourself if no one's liking your stuff. That's 100%. But I don't know. I'm just trying to like, because now there's just a third dimension to people now, and it's the digital profile of them.
Right.
Yeah.
And how are other people using that? I'm trying to study that almost like a tool.
Well, if you get pulled into social media in any way, that's like a disease. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're getting offended by stuff, you're diseased. And also, if you're getting mad at people getting offended by stuff, you have the exact same disease. There's no difference on that.
Well, me and you have the same disease then. Me and you have the same
I've gotten
disease.
pretty good at getting pulled out of that. I just don't care. I don't give a shit really.
There's a great quote about that, Jace, where it says, "Don't argue with an idiot. Someone from a distance might not be able to tell the difference."
Right? Yeah.
Yep.
I think I read that on a bumper sticker somewhere.
It's a Far Side.
Actually, you know where it was one of the admins on brianmanzella.com, which
there
was
you
a
go.
golf forum from the mid 2000s that me and Jace would read because they would study the physics of the golf swing. And one of the admins had that in his bio.
Some
for
real
some
lame,
reason.
real lame shit. Yeah, real lame.
We
shit.
were like early forum guys, but only for like golf physics websites.
Yeah.
It's so stupid.
Yeah, which even they would get in fights. They'd get in like screaming matches online because that's just
People would delete their accounts.
Yeah.
They get banned from forums. Or
Right.
like, you're supposed to pronate your left wrist on the way down. Hogan taught that in the 5 fundamentals. And how
Right.
can you go against
somebody
that?
would be like, "Give me your address. I'm going to beat your ass and kill you."
Like, Homer Kelly disproved that in 1977's The Golfing Machine. How
Right.
dare you?
Yeah.
Just like referencing like works cited, like
Right.
long paragraphs.
So if you get pulled into any of that, I have to watch myself with the Bernie stuff now because that'll get me. So I have to be careful about people being like, "Ooh, Bernie should like denounce Joe Rogan's opinions." And
Yeah,
then
because they act like he's a Nazi.
and then
now.
I found myself getting mad at that because it was like a classic example of the Democratic Party just sucking ass at getting elected.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But then again, on top of all that, you realize Twitter is fake.
It's
not,
fake.
It's not real.
That's what I was getting mad
None
at.
of it's real.
I was getting mad at it, and then I was like actually going through the training. I'm like, oh, so there's fucking 8 people who look like birds tweeting about this, just like no chins between any of them. Why am I giving a shit?
It's just
Yeah.
thousands of people that are controlling this dialogue on this website, and they go they're diseased people.
Diseased people.
And anyone you meet in person has no idea what you're talking about.
Right.
You try to find someone that knows that Rogan endorsed Bernie. They don't know who either of those people are.
Right.
Yeah.
Or they might vaguely know who Rogan is. They probably don't know who Bernie is.
These people are tweeting about they have like their eye is just a dark circle. That's like what they've become. They're just like Gollum tweeting all the time, and you're letting that person ruin your day for some reason.
Well, and that's kind of, I mean, that's kind of one of the reasons why when you reference stuff that's like deep internet, like stuff or whatever, that I'm just kind of like, nobody knows about this shit. And you're like, people are online, Kevin. They know 4chan.
Well, our audience, no, people do know what 4chan is, but
Well, they know what 4chan
But
is.
people are very online. People are very online, but I'm saying like,
And then also I think
there's a
if you-
shitload of people on Twitter that aren't looking at the trending topics and aren't getting fights with people. They're just sharing funny videos and looking at funny shit.
Yeah.
So,
and then also I think if you're listening to this, you can just intelligently put context clues on stuff.
By the way,
What's up?
so last night we did a Labyrinth show recreation.
Okay.
And at some point, twice, I think Vokey made a little St. James reference. Nobody knew what he was talking about in the audience.
Well,
and then he was like,
yeah.
if they did, it was just, he's like, nobody fucking knows what this is.
well, people know what Epstein is, but no one knows the name of the island.
Yeah. I just, it's so interesting because me and Brian were in the back just going, I can't believe people don't know what that is.
No,
I'm like, yeah, well, we're kind of in a different circle.
Anything you reference comedically, you kind of can't make when you're performing to a mass audience like that of people that aren't your fans, you got to stay pretty surface level with shit.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Which that's, I mean, I only perform to people who aren't my fans. So
Yeah.
that's why I try to.
But
keep
there
it.
is surprisingly stuff that
People,
will.
you call them.
Yeah, people.
There is surprisingly stuff that will just hit for everybody. It seems, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
weirdly.
Yeah, like I used to always do that Baby from Dinosaurs line, and everybody just knew what that
Yeah.
was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just some weird obscure reference from pop culture, and everyone goes, "Oh yeah, that."
Yeah, I said "Okay, Boomer" is Ludo last night, and people laughed it.
Is Ludo
from the Labyrinth?
Labyrinth.
Oh, gotcha.
You were calling it The Labyrinth.
Is that a different movie?
It's Labyrinth, the David Bowie movie.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. It was just Labyrinth. Is there another movie called The Labyrinth?
No.
So you know what I was talking about?
No.
Oh, interesting.
I'm just stabbing you in the knee.
Yeah. It's like the Eagles versus Eagles.
Wait, what?
It's actually just Eagles. The name of the band is just Eagles, not The Eagles.
Huh?
The name of the band, the band
I'm
Eagles?
just stabbing you again.
I'll keep repeating it the more you say, huh? Yeah, so it's same thing.
Yeah, or Pixies versus the Pixies.
Yeah. Or gays versus the gays.
Right, sure, yeah.
My favorite band. Oh, I apologize.
Lord, I apologize.
Yeah. Well, Ben, have you come along any deep government conspiracies or any snuff porn you want to share with the podcast?
No, I haven't gone down any holes lately. I kind of came to the realization that, even if you find the truth, that's actually the worst thing that could happen, because then your life is in danger. Like, let's say there is a big conspiracy that X, Y, or Z happened and people died as a result of it.
Yeah.
Those people died because they had information that they weren't supposed to have. So actually the worst thing that could happen is I find out what actually happened.
Yeah.
So it's a toxic thing.
I think you could also make the argument that you're not, like, when you get really deep into all this stuff, or like when I did, you're not really getting the truth, because that becomes your whole reality. You just become convinced that everything is a pedophile.
Yeah.
Everything is a pedophile island, and that's not the case. That's not the truth.
Well, and the further you look into stuff, you realize there's so much disinformation or misinformation on purpose that's spread intentionally.
Yeah.
And a lot of reality is manufactured, and a lot of the lies are manufactured to cover up truth. So,
Right.
and it's a perfect system. There's no way to find out what happened at Mandalay Bay.
Well,
There's literally, you will never know what happened.
Yeah,
And you can keep looking into it for years and years and years, and you might find out 30 or 40 years from now what happened. People
Right.
find that out with like stuff like the JFK assassination, and it's
Right.
like, yeah, no one cares anymore, and the people that you're trying to incriminate are dead. People are finding out more stuff about Watergate, and it's like, yeah, but no one cares, and a lot of people don't know what that was, and those people have died. So
Yeah.
what are you going to do?
Dip your toe in it. You know what I mean? Don't like dive in. Don't make it your life.
Well, we're able to gorge on information now. There's so much information.
It is a
out
digital
there.
age,
You
you know?
can literally spend your time on stuff that just doesn't matter to your actual life at all, and you could spend your entire life worrying about all this shit. It's like about something that happened in the past or something that doesn't affect you. And meanwhile, you're 600 pounds or whatever. You haven't cleaned your room. You haven't made your bed in the morning.
No,
The
it's
other
just
10 rules.
conspiracies and stuff. It's like it's the same as like science fiction. It's just escapism. You're just trying to escape from the reality that you're chained into.
Yeah. Sometimes I get chained into realities.
Yeah, and that's what we were talking about earlier. I think it's kind of the similar thing where it's like, oh, you're trying to make your life a little magical again.
Yeah.
I have the truth. I have to bring the truth. I'm a disciple for, fucking Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah, you're some fucking messenger.
Right. You're just ruining parties over and over
It's the same
again.
thing with
Yeah.
flat Earth people. They're like their lives are filled with this deep meaning.
Yeah.
They have this big secret that no one else knows, and it's up to them to spread the
Right.
message.
Well, you know what got me out of reading the Epstein stuff was I was at a party and I brought it up, and then somebody else who was like a bigger fanatic started was screaming about it, and I was like, oh, I hate this now. I hate that. This is
Yep.
just like what you are. You know
Yeah,
what I
Yes.
mean?
and I've been finding out more people online that are obsessed with a lot of this stuff are actually just like I found out one big account, I'm not going to name it, that spreads a lot of Epstein stuff. Supposedly they're like a sex offender.
Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Joe Rogan.
What if Alex Jones and Joe Rogan and all those guys were actually doing the Pizzagate stuff?
Oh, and
They're
this was
just
a
trying to
smoke screen.
throw the scent off by
Right.
saying it was Clinton.
The perfect crime.
Perfect crime.
Crisscross.
Crisscross. They'll make you jump. Mac Daddy.
Throw mama from the plane.
From the
Lolita Express.
Lolita Express.
That's right.
The mama is Hillary, and we're going to throw her off the Lolita Express.
Right. And Billy Crystal is Bill Clinton.
Yeah, Billy Clinton.
Yeah. It's like, I love Billy Crystal so much. Such a funny Jew.
Danny DeVito is Chelsea.
Yes. Yeah,
Chelsea Clinton.
Yeah, because they're both. I tell you, I'd rather fuck Danny DeVito, folks.
Hey, how about new character?
Okay.
Tranny DeVito.
All right. I don't like that.
Okay.
I don't like that.
No, I want to see where this goes.
No, I don't. I don't.
Ben,
like
you got. Here's the thing: 2 strikes, 3 balls.
Okay,
Batter up.
but I have to set up the. Okay, he's with Tranny Glover.
Okay.
Stop saying tranny.
Well, it's their name.
Wait, I want to give him 1 swing at this.
Okay.
2 strikes, 3 balls.
So they're Glover, I won't say the name again, but you know the first name for the bit, is getting fucked in the ass by DeVito.
Yeah.
And he goes, I'm getting too old for this shit.
Strike 3, you're out. And the game's over. I'm making that like.
I'm getting in your face, just fucking screaming at you.
It's a good bit. Yeah, you're kicking dirt on me.
The whole dugout of like Pepe's, and everybody gets out and like watches the video.
Yeah, you're calling me a cocksucker.
A bunch of Groypers and Wojaks and shit.
You
They say-
cocksucker.
They go. You're at a baseball game. They go, now please rise for the national anthem, and then you just do that joke with everybody's heart hand over their hearts, and then the flag, the picture of the flag, and then
just be like, so he's like fucking him in the ass.
Yeah.
And then, but they're gay, but they're trans too.
and then Jace walks up and turns his baseball hat around and kicks you out.
Right.
You guys keep bumping noses together as you're screaming at one another.
That's right.
Take me out to the ball game. Man, that would be so great if baseball was just online.
You're thinking of backyard baseball.
Well, no, if just like memes played each other, that'd be awesome. Like people would get behind that if it was like the Washington Pepes,
right?
Which that's what it would be because the Northwest is just filled with Nazis.
This week, one does not merely goes up against. That's the T, sis.
Dude, that would be great.
I mean, we just did it. You know. What? How? I mean, what? How would you even quantify it, though? You know.
What do you mean?
Like, what's a double? You know, is a single? Like, how do you do a home run?
Oh, it would just be the same baseball.
Oh,
but just with Pepe's and Groybers and shit like that.
Okay, like animated.
The teams people want.
Yeah,
and the Redskins are still the Redskins.
Yeah, of course.
Like
actually, every team is now the Redskins.
The baseball. Yeah, every team is the Redskins. All catchers are Groypers.
Yeah, you put a Groyper behind the plate, of course.
Yeah.
The pitcher is some sort. Oh, the pitcher is a Chad.
Okay.
Yeah, the pitcher's definitely a Chad.
Okay.
I think. Yeah. The Slender Man is first base.
Okay.
Because he has such long arms.
Okay. All right.
It's good. He plays center field, I think.
You put 3 Slendermans in the outfield?
Yeah.
You think so?
Oh, you got to do it just for the reach.
But then he's going to reach up into the stands and grab a kid.
Yeah. Well, that's the problem is you hit a pop fly to him and he's just staring at a child in the audience.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. How about you put Jeffrey Epstein at shortstop?
Okay, I like that.
Wait, what's the meme for Jeffrey Epstein?
I mean, he is the fucking meme.
Oh, he is a meme.
He's a meme.
Right. The manager is Grumpy Cat.
Yeah, and the owner.
That's good.
Jace, the owner. This is going to be a little too epic, so I need you to really brace yourself.
Okay.
It's Bill Murray.
Wow.
But hold on, Bill Murray in Zombieland. That Bill Murray.
That is pretty epic. Yeah.
Man, it's Bill Murray, but with the poster like they did for Obama.
Yeah.
Smedge the cat is third base.
Which one is Smedge the cat?
Smedge is the one who's in the chair, and that the lady on the reality show is like yelling
How do
at
you
him.
know the name of the cat?
It's Smedge. It has like 15 million followers on Instagram.
We got dancing Shaggy at shortstop.
No, Jeffrey Epstein's at shortstop.
Oh, sorry.
Right.
I think second base would be.
It's the dancing baby from Ally McBeal.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, the original meme.
Dude.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
What is it? Strong Shaggy or something? I can't remember.
That's a more obscure meme. Is that Shaggy has like
no, it's not.
otherworldly powers.
People know about Shaggy, dude.
I don't know.
I guess you put
People know.
Do you put Baby Yoda at first base?
Baby Yoda's. He's not even out of the minor league.
I think
he just started, dude.
Dude, Joker's in right field.
Joker's in the right field.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just doing the dance.
You know what? Baby Yoda is actually the little rosin bag that they use on the pictures now. They're just beating up Baby Yoda and then throwing him in the dirt. He's like,
that English guy with the surprise face with the curly hair with the big eyes. You know what I'm talking about?
Huh?
He's in an audience. He's like this.
Oh yeah, wide mouth gay guy.
You talking about the Trololo guy?
No. He's like. I'll pull it up for you. But yeah, no, he's
oh, dude,
he's selling peanuts.
Guess who's at bat right now?
Who's that Batman?
It's Master Chief.
Wow.
And he's about to crank one.
I'm officially like maybe 2 minutes ago, I really hated us talking. Yeah, that guy. No, I know who you're talking about.
Well, you can't put a GIF. A GIF isn't fair. It's got to be a meme. It can't be a GIF.
I mean, this is memed out.
Yeah, it's like. Would you say a GIF's a meme, James?
I would really just love it if we stopped talking about this.
Okay, thank you. What's our timestamp at?
Not because it's offensive, because it became so corny.
We have to do something funny before we finish this podcast.
Yeah, we got to stop recording at like midnight.
Yeah,
it's so hard to get tuned up for it.
I know. We should.
I feel like this was a good episode.
He thinks it's good. Jesus Christ! What a fucking loser! What bad perception about what's good.
We've done episodes where it's just literally a Sling Blade, but more retarded.
That's true.
Is the bit.
Yeah.
It's like, what if Sling Blade had Down syndrome?
Yeah, I know.
Instead of just brain damage. It's like, well,
every midnight podcast we starts with us going like, yeah, you know, like, what if Baby Yoda was gay?
Yeah,
it's like more the energy. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, it's literally that. Yeah.
I should try to make fun of you by doing a bit that I think is stupid, but is in the same tone of voice that then becomes canon to the podcast.
I dare you to try.
Okay, let's see here. What if they wanted? Have you watched The Mandalorian?
No, I don't have Disney. I don't have Disney Plus.
Well, you love Baby Yoda, but you know nothing about him.
Everybody loves Baby Yoda.
What do I need to know? He's fucking Baby Yoda, dude.
Well, they find out that they want him. The Empire wants him because he gives great blowjobs and he's just right at the perfect height. What if that was the truth?
Okay, one strike. I'll give Kevin one more try to do.
I can't manufacture.
I didn't care for that. Yeah.
Oh man. What if? Okay.
What about Boss Baby Yoda?
Okay.
He's like, put that cookie down, you will.
What if it's
cookies off for closes?
Yeah, I was gonna say Baby Yoda in that movie. What is that movie?
Boss Baby Yoda.
No.
Which is a spinoff of Glengarry Glen Ross.
Yeah, Glengarry Glen Ross.
Yeah, but he says that in Boss Baby because it's played by Alec Baldwin. At one point, Boss Baby he calls his daughter a pig cunt. Because it's Alec Baldwin.
It's weird how like all art.
Cunt in the commercial.
No, you remember that famous voicemail where he called his daughter a pig cunt?
Oh yeah, and everybody was just like, "This is fine."
Right.
Put him on every episode of every television.
That's
show.
just Alec being Alec. Yeah. He called his daughter a fat pig and a cunt.
Yeah.
Isn't it weird how like all art is starting to mimic itself, where it's like the Boss Baby is loosely in the universe of Glengarry Glen Ross.
Yes.
It's like there's movies about the making of movies. There's TV shows about the making of a movie or a TV show about movies.
Right.
Yes.
Well, you go to a superhero movie and it's like a lot of jokes about Footloose or some shit like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I told you, like I saw the Wonder Woman trailer and I imagined the part where she picks up a Rubik's Cube and looks at it and a guy just coming in his pants. And it just made me violently angry.
Well, yeah, that's the new formula that works. It's 80s nostalgia combined with a reference to it's a spinoff of a movie but combined with 80s nostalgia. It did that, and now Wonder Woman, and there's another
Stranger
movie,
Things,
Ghostbusters as well as doing that. It's an 80s thing.
Wonder Woman puts on a slap bracelet and roller skates, and people like flip out. They literally rockets come out of their feet and they shoot into the sky.
That's right. Yeah. She starts talking about Walter Mondale and people like fucking their heads explode.
I don't know Walter Mondale.
He ran for the presidency against Reagan.
Yeah, he's talking about Dole or whatever.
That's the 90s.
Oh, okay. But Jace, I don't know if I've said this on the podcast before, but that Oswald Spengler guy who predicted the fall of the Third Reich, he wrote that book, The Decline of the West, and he viewed I'll wrap this up very quickly.
He predicted the fall of the Third Reich?
He did. In 1938, he wrote a letter saying the Third Reich will be completely gone in a decade. And everyone was like, there's no way.
He's a hater.
Yeah, he was a hater, dude. Yeah. Everyone's like, no, the Nazi Party's so powerful. There's no way. And sure enough, but he viewed civilization as an organism that was born and then would die. And there was a spring, summer, fall, and winter for every civilization.
Before paintings, famously. Yeah.
So in spring, that's when we would actually create our finest art, and society would be at its highest. That's when we have like the Sistine Chapel and the music that was being played then. And
the Beatles,
Yeah, the Beatles, Sistine Chapel,
okay,
all in the same era. So he said we would start to enter the winter of civilization. One of the telltale signs of it would be that art would begin to mimic itself. And I think the first reference we really see with that is like Andy Warhol. But
art about pop
art about
culture.
art.
Pop art. That's what they called it.
So, and he said another sign is that people, then we would enter a state of Caesarism around that time when art would begin to mimic itself, which means people would just openly want a dictator. People would give up all of their rights to one person if they
well, it seems like we've avoided that so far, so that's a good sign. I don't know if that's, you're saying that reflects something. Yeah.
So he seems to be some sort of
if Bernie gets elected?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, a real dictator.
Sorry,
dude.
Please continue.
I had a Bernie guy call me today and try to get me to volunteer.
What a fucking bitch.
It's good. I mean, that's what you have to do to campaign.
I almost thought about canvassing, but then I just decided not to.
They called me and they're like, you can do it from your own home. Go to this website and you go to, bertiesanders.com and register or whatever.
What do you?
Yeah, guy tried to get me to canvass for Colonel Sanders, folks.
I'll tell you what, if that's something I'd support.
Yeah, no, that was rude, I think.
That I would campaign
a bucket of chicken in every household. I want it. A car in every garage, a bucket of chicken in every mom's hands.
But the 1% gets all the wings and the thighs in the bucket.
No dark meat. Only white meat, only the best meat.
Sorry, Ben, please continue.
I was just I haven't got to talk to anybody about this, but what do you guys think it means that like art is just mimicking itself at a rapid rate when it comes to memes and the movies you see and the TV shows?
I think it's a combination of, I think on a positive side, it's a combination of the fact that we have technology today and ways of making film specifically and art in a more effective or more, eye-pleasing way today. So a lot of people will justify, we can remake Batman because this time, we can really do it upright. I also think it's a symptom of society getting less intelligent. The fact that they'll just take this stuff.
So you think we're devolving?
I don't think we're devolving, but I think people are being rewarded for churning out the same type of stuff. And you can look at that in a good way, like, saying Joseph Campbell's The Hero's Journey. It's the same story over and over again. Doesn't mean those stories are bad, but they're slightly different, but they're around the same skeleton.
It's like The Hero with 1,000 Costumes now, folks.
That's right.
Come on,
folks.
The Hero with 1,000 Genders.
Right. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
I'll harken back to something.
Tweet that.
Jay said something on the podcast that really made me think, and that was, what if Thanos could just snap his fingers, and make art good again?
Yeah. Right? What if Thanos made the OK sign with that?
Right. He makes the OK sign. No.
I also think
it doesn't do anything. It's just very racist. Yeah.
It's a matter of recording things too. I mean, even in the small world of like jokes, you think about how many times you look at something that's posted online that's a joke or a stand-up shot or things like that, and the comments that will be like, oh, this was done in 1972 in this commercial that they did for, Pop Save Popcorn or something. And like
that's where I get all my material from.
Nobody will ever find it. Nobody will ever realize you've been stealing.
Except those advertising people at Pop Save Popcorn.
Oh, but fuck them.
They've been emailing me.
They got their paycheck. They can shut the fuck up.
They're trying to sue me.
Yeah.
I also do think it's the corporization of.
They got their 30 pieces of silver.
What, they're Jewish?
Well, I don't know.
Kevin.
Come on, Kevin. Jesus Christ.
Anti-Semitic. We love Israel.
Yeah, Judas Iscariot is a very anti-Semitic cult hero. I think it's definitely also the corporatization of entertainment, where you watch these Marvel movies and shit, and it really does feel like I've said this before, it feels like Enron made a movie where it was like it was directed by 18 people in suits in a conference room being like,
Yeah.
all right, we need a cute sidekick who's funny. He eats a lot of tacos.
We need a fluffy little animal to sell for the kids.
We need a fluffy little animal. And then, people like humor. We've done studies that say people like humor.
Yeah.
So when they defeat Thanos, they should say a line that is humorous. And then that's how every movie gets fucking made now.
Well, I mean, and some of these movies are genuinely entertaining. I enjoy them. I like watching them.
I like eating candy.
But I think it's just, it does come down to kind of just like dollars and cents at the end of the day, because they're not willing to invest money into a movie that doesn't already have an established audience. So it's much easier to just say.
And that's part of the problem is it's the American people. It's the people are dumb and they vote with their dollars.
So
and
the arts
almost all of them are very dumb.
So the art's
choose
like
bad things.
Would you say like the art is a reflection of the society?
Well, yeah, I think it's more just that I think corporations have gotten smarter because people, it's become a study. How do you run a corporation? Like Harvard Business School is teaching people that. And, back in I feel like the 70s and 80s, it was more like, yeah, we fucking, whatever. We made a car that kills people when it crashes. Who gives a shit? We're fucking, Ford. We're unbeatable. And now it's like, we got to give people exactly what they want. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. And a lot of the big companies that did that already, they're controlling a lot of the means through which those things can be made or be advertised or promoted.
Right.
It has to go through a certain way. And so even, you're talking about like a car or something, the spirit of invention has been destroyed by copyright, the trolls that are doing copyright.
Well, I'm not even saying so much copyright, more the fact that they're like, okay, what do people want? They want to pay $12,000 for a brand new car that gets 60 miles to the gallon. So now everything looks like, a fucking Hot Wheels car made out of plastic.
Yeah.
Versus a 1950s like Buick that looked like a beautiful piece of like metal art, but like it was not made for what people actually wanted, but it was beautiful and it like ran forever. Engines would run for like 30 years. And it's the same thing with movies now where they're like, okay, what do people want in movies? We used to film The Conversation because we could just make movies and people would fucking see them.
Right.
Because there's nothing else to do. But now they're like, oh, what do people want? It's like they want fucking fat Thor to be like, try to fight Thanos and then he farts when he does it.
A baby Smurf movie.
Yeah. People want a baby Smurf movie because most people are very, 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 very dumb.
Well,
and that's the problem with a democracy is that it's controlled by the people, and most of them are terrible people, and they're very dumb.
So Greece didn't even try out a democracy for that long, from what I understand.
Is that right?
I don't think they had it for that long, like 100 years or a couple 100 years. Mm-hmm. That's not a long time. So we're kind of the second. Are we the second place to kind of do it, like to try it out?
I mean, time. You mean, or the second time?
Yeah.
I would say probably. I'm trying to think. I don't know about the ancient civilizations so much. I mean, the Mayans definitely had some civilization shit that went down for a while. But yeah, I don't know if we've had like a postmodern civilization last for more than, 200 years or however long we've been postmodern, maybe since I don't know how late the official.
Yeah, I don't fucking know.
So I guess this is just like the sixth mass extinction then.
Maybe it's not. Maybe it's just like everything just becomes kind of shitty.
Well,
like everything just becomes gray.
Yeah, that's what I mean when I say I think the boring thing is the truth. It's just like there's not going to be like you always talk about like and then like dinosaurs are going to rise from the grave and rape Trump in office.
Yeah,
and the Chinese are going to be bayoneting babies in the streets. I don't think
they are doing that.
I don't think that's just going to happen. I think
they are doing that.
Well, they are doing that. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's just going to be like, hey, when did all of America become a Walmart? You're just like, you're going to wake up one day, you're like, oh man, everything is just a Walmart.
I think when I think of a dystopian future, I actually think that you wake up inside of a store. Uh-huh. Like I think eventually America will be like, it'll be like America presented to you by Walmart.
Right.
And like Walmart will somehow buy this country and buy the government. Mm-hmm. And everywhere you go, you can shop and buy stuff.
Right. But nobody has any money anymore. Yeah.
Yeah.
Except like 1% of people.
Or like everyone is just automatically in debt just by being alive. Right. And they have to work for
slavery
thing.
Comes back, but it's just people working for Walmart for food and shelter.
Everyone's just a Walmart greeter.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man.
The newspaper on your front door, it's just a pamphlet with all the products
you're on a big plantation with like Sam Wall and his family. Mm-hmm. You're just wearing a big white suit with a hat. Yeah.
Okay, what about this, Ben?
Okay.
You want a Rube Goldberg machine that goes through a long, period, like a chicken, gets scared and lays an egg, and then it goes down and waits. It picks up something else that cuts a string, and then at the end, you're in bed, and a guy just falls in your ass at the end. You start it by just like pushing a marble, and then at the
and there's
end,
like a monkey with cymbals.
For
and
sure.
it's playing the Pee Wee Herman music the whole time.
And then at the very end, just this big fat guy in a leather mask with a zipper over the.
Is he rock hard?
Oh, has to be, dude. Well, that's part of the Rube Goldberg. Is at one point. It turns on a train that's on a circular track that has a feather on it, and it just tickles his dick and balls as it goes in a circle.
That's right.
And it
just gets him hard.
Well, and his dick, it gets so hard that it actually it turns on a speaking spell, which actually says the magic words that makes his dog bark, and then the dog knocks down the dog bone, and that goes down to the dominoes.
The dog bone goes up his ass, which makes him even harder.
Yeah.
So then I'm sleeping in bed, like on face down, like on my belly.
Yeah.
And so he just falls from the ceiling.
Yeah.
Yeah, directly into.
Yeah, there's actually another guy there that has to come into a cup, and then when the cup fills up, it moves the weights down, and then it hits some more dominoes.
A pube Goldberg machine.
A pube Goldberg machine. Yeah.
It's so retarded.
I know. That's
good. Okay,
I've been
that was
thinking
good.
about this for months.
That was good. Just
So you're like Eminem riding on the bus.
Yeah.
Just like gay plus retarded.
he just got his headphones
right.
in. He's just listening to animal noises.
Right. You
like-
only got one bit to say something gay and retarded. Would you blow it?
Dude, it's me. Just,
AIDS mile.
Yeah, it's mile.
I've been just trying to think of the perfect wedding gift for Ben. I'm just like a Rube Goldberg machine that fucks you in the ass at the end.
Man, I love losing myself in the bit.
I love
The way Eminem would lose himself in the music.
Yeah,
in the
the
moment.
rap.
Yeah.
You can't ever let it go.
No.
You only get one shot.
Yeah, he's talking about saying the word.
Yeah.
You get one shot to say it.
Did not miss your chance to blow.
I would love them to remake 8 Mile, but he's just starting a podcast.
Right, for sure. Yeah.
And he's just going down in the streets. They're all podcasting, like sitting on a stoop.
Yeah.
They just got their H6 out,
Yeah, like
like some
Rogan.
SM58s.
Yeah, it's like hustle and flow. Like Rogan comes into town. He's like, I gotta get Rogan like my fucking podcast, man. Did you guys ever see Hustle and Flow?
No.
Nah, damn. You guys hate black people?
I
You haven't seen. I have friends like that who are legitimately like, oh, you haven't seen 85 Black Things? You hate black people?
What? What'd you point at?
Oh, the time. I just want to.
Oh, 2:20.
Jesus. 2:20. We're going late into the night.
Yeah, we can't start at 11:30 anymore.
Why
Let's
not?
start earlier.
Well, let's do it at 6:00 on Friday then.
Okay.
Well, every Friday.
I mean, people DM me if they don't like the episodes, and the only one I've got DMs from was one where we like weren't funny at all, and we all just wanted to kill ourselves. I can't remember which episode it was.
All of them?
Yeah, it was all of them.
So it's just any episode?
Yeah.
We did get some.
Someone DM'd me with a link to every episode, and they go, "What the fuck, man? Wasn't funny."
Wasn't funny. Didn't laugh. We did get a couple more reviews on iTunes.
Yeah.
Cool.
So thanks for that. We appreciate it. We've been asking for
fuck.
Well, you were looking like you were going to read them.
Did we get an email or something? Or
it. Not since because we recorded these so close together. Hilarious start to finish, a quality pod for quality folks. Saw Ben, aka Ed McMahon, on one of my favorite comedy shows, InfoWars with Alex Jones. Ben very eloquently said, "I'm kind of retarded," and I was instantly inspired to listen to his podcast. Good work, fellas.
oh, so we're getting some InfoWars listeners.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, it's great. And we're up to 127 reviews. Keep that going, man. Keep those reviews coming. We really appreciate you guys listening to, talk about trying to find ourselves and have our own voice. We kind of just talk about whatever the fuck we want. and it's serious to emotional to offensive.
We're kind of the badasses of the podcasting
Yeah,
world.
we don't give a fuck. Dude.
Yeah.
We'll talk about Pepe and Cry on the same podcast.
I don't give a fuck about like what your like sense of decency is when it comes to my podcast.
Oh, I tell you. So Chris Estrada was at the Ice House the other day. And
Not
he was
Lupe
just like-
Estrada.
Not Lupe Estrada. Shout out to Lupe Estrada. Love that guy. But Chris Estrada, love that guy as well.
Yeah.
He was saying that he loves the pod. He's just like, you guys aren't saying anything bad. You're just being funny.
Right.
Stop being self-conscious. And I'm like, yeah, but okay.
You're mad.
Yeah, I just can't accept it sometimes.
He is
like,
right.
He's 100%
because no
right.
one cares about anything. Actually,
Yeah, nobody gives a shit.
Nobody
about
cares.
anything.
dude,
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone actually does care about anything.
I don't think so, really. No, except themselves.
Not really.
Yeah, everybody cares about themselves and then jack shit after.
I think
that.
there's some people that get really upset that like people eat meat or something like that. Like there's PETA people and stuff like that. But I mean, other than that, it's like that's kind of it.
right.
I want to find somebody and pay them to yell "Nobody cares" during all the speeches at your wedding, just from the crowd, like nobody gives a shit, man. Like, I love this guy Ben. He's always been there for me. We grew up through some hard times.
Well,
We
no
both
one would say
changed.
that
Nobody would say that.
I've been there for them.
That's not true. You've been there for me.
Even when I'm here, I'm not here.
That's actually
How could I
true.
be there?
Yeah, that is.
No,
actually
you
true,
have
yeah.
stopped. I'm not going to let you ironically turn away from me giving you a
I'm
compliment.
not ironic. I'm a spacey guy. I'm usually not present.
Well, sometimes
it's
you
a
are.
huge strain on my relationship.
You know what?
Kevin's spacey
Sometimes
guy.
you fucking are, Ben.
I'm not.
And I'm pissed off about
No,
this.
I will not. If you call me and you need me, I'm gonna sense it. I'm not gonna pick up the phone.
Yeah.
That's the kind of guy I am.
You call me, I won't be there.
Whenever you need me, I'll be over there. I won't be around. Cause baby, there ain't no mountain short enough. Ain't no river shallow enough. Ain't no valley flat enough to give a hand to you. Yeah.
Who wrote that song?
Marvin Gaye guy.
Marvin Gaye guy.
It was Marvin Gaye, and then who else sang that song originally?
I don't know.
Aretha Franklin the Turtle from the TV show.
Aretha Franklin, the turtle from the TV show.
Yeah, yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
That sounds right. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
let's wrap this shit up, guys. Anything we want to put on the?
I think we should try to be funny for like 5 to 10 minutes. and
I
send
tried.
it.
I talked about you getting the
Pube Goldberg machine.
Pube Goldberg machine.
That's probably got to be the name of this app.
Pube Goldberg.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. I mean, have you blown any dudes lately, Ben?
Lately,
Yeah, everything. I mean,
does today count?
it does. I don't know. I what do you want to end on? That's fucking hilarious. I could just put up maybe we could just show a picture of me naked.
I'm trying to think.
We don't want to scare the listeners.
No, it's hilarious,
folks.
folks.
Trying to think of. Oh well, Kevin's gonna get mad if I do this bit.
Just do it.
Do you know what a simp is, Kevin?
Nope.
Jace, do you know what a simp is?
Nope.
Damn it! Fuck. It's an online term. It's about.
We have to just wrap it up. We don't have to do end
A
on
simp
something.
is just a guy who puts like pussy on a pedestal.
Okay.
Like a guy who's a simp. Like he's always in girls' DMs. He's like a reply guy. He's a fucking simp.
Okay.
So I was thinking of the Simpsons.
Okay.
And Bart Simpson, he's writing on the board, but it's just him replying to girls online.
Okay.
This is
But the
making my
same, the
gout
same
flare
reply
up.
with every e-girl that he follows.
Okay. I just keep going. Okay.
All right. Okay. By the way, Bruce told me the other day that he heard this from you. He's been doing this bit where he's finding a joke in the trash can and he reads it. And it's like, brother could never do 9/11.
That's my bit.
Brother have to do it on 9/12
Yeah.
and shit.
Yeah, but he's like, I just found this joke. Yeah, it's very funny.
It's a great way to set it up.
Yeah, Voki texted me asking if he could do a bit that I said to him like 3 years ago. I was like, sure. I don't.
I wish I
I
should
know
give
I
them-
hijacked you, but can I get some gas money?
I should just give them gay Asian guy bit since I don't do that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, just sell.
I'm
your
doing
own
all your
jokes.
bits.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I just
good.
do all your jokes.
Yeah. Gay Asian guy. It's a shame.
Yeah. It's, you know, hey, it's
Somebody needs to carry that torch. I've done that on the podcast, right?
I don't think so.
Have I been?
Yeah, I think you have.
Okay.
Yeah, I think should we try to do stand up again, Jace?
Maybe.
I think you should.
Well,
do
me
it
and
if
Jace
you
just
feel
looked
like
at each
it.
other's eyes and we're like, "There's no way. There's no."
I just don't want to go out. You know, I have nothing against doing stand up. I just don't want to be at an open mic. You know what I mean?
Yeah, when I think of, I'm like,
I get
Guy's
it.
house is like 15 minutes from
Yeah.
here.
No, I've thought about it a couple times. I'm like, I should go out, and then I just forget. You know what I mean?
I think about like finding parking.
I just want to hang out with all the people I like that I miss. You know what I mean?
Well, they're not there anymore, unfortunately.
really, everybody quit.
I mean, it is weird. It is weird that just I don't recognize a lot of the people anymore. There's still, of course, you know, some of the mainstays, but a lot of people there are a lot of new people,
Right.
You know, but so we're not going to be funny before the end of this podcast, and we're at 2 hours and 30 minutes at this point.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We just shouldn't record way anymore. I think it's just we get kind of
Polk
Spacey.
sent me a thing. A comedian who will be unnamed. He wrote an article that
Polk.
said, a comedian. He's a friend of mine. His last name's Polk. Whatever. Fuck you.
Andrew Polk.
Andrew Polk, the great Andrew Polk. He sent me a screenshot of a comic who I will not name on this, but he wrote an article that said I did 1,000 sets last year,
Right.
And here's everything you need to know that I learned as a comedian and what you need to know as a comedian.
Yeah.
You can probably guess who
I
it
know
is.
exactly who this is. Yeah, yeah. No, I know exactly who it is.
I can't. Wait
I almost want to just
can't wait to
name him
read
on
it.
the podcast because that guy sucks. It really should be
come
killed
Oh,
in
come
the streets. Yeah.
Not that dramatic.
Anyway, what was the thing he sent you?
He just sent me that screenshot. I threw my phone across the room when I saw it.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing I've kind of been hinting at, like kind of touching on this podcast. I've been thinking about the past couple of days. It's like, do people not know they're going to die? Like some people have spent like the last 25 years of their life like just doing open mics, and that's fucking it. And then
25 years, you think?
Dude, 10 years, 25 years, what's the fucking difference? It's a decade of your life. Some of these people have been, dude, a guy we know died recently who was just doing open mics forever.
Who died?
Can we stop doing stuff where we have to know the person?
Oh yeah, I forgot he.
Well,
died.
it doesn't matter. They don't need to know the name of the person. They'll never meet him.
It's Ralphie May.
It's Ralphie May, yeah.
So what about him?
It's just it's just crazy to me that they spent their life just doing, that's the only thing they did, and then they just died.
Well, I think it points more to the fact that just like, you know, that article where it's just like, you know, just because you did something a lot doesn't really necessarily mean that it's going to turn out great. You know, one of my favorite terms with drumming that I think is good for everything is it's not practice makes perfect. It's practice makes permanent. So if you're practicing at doing something the wrong way, it doesn't matter how many times you do it.
Well,
you actually have to do it the right way.
With comedy, I think you should just you're either good at it or you're not. I don't think for the most part anybody who's bad at it gets funny.
That's not true. I'm going to get good one of these days.
So I just think, I think it comes down to me. It's like you should never tell anybody to chase their dreams because most people's dreams are really bad and they're bad at what they do and it'll never work.
No,
out.
I think you should just develop a skill. I think you should focus on a skill. I think people are doing too many things, actually.
Just focus on a skill, do what makes you happy, and stop worrying about the results and stressing about shit that you can't control. You know, if you enjoy something, do it.
No, but I'm talking about like the practice of the thing, Kevin, which what you were saying too is like, I think too many people dip their toes in too many things. They're like, oh, I kind of like drawing, or I kind of like graphics, or I kind of like, I can make music on my synthesizer sometimes and I do all these things. It's like, focus on one fucking thing and get really good at it and let then that guide you through the goddamn thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Well,
if that's being funny, then be funny in as many capacities as you can. But, you know, I'm not saying if you're trying to be like stand up like you, don't try to be a comedic actor or whatever.
Yeah.
It's all the same shit.
Right.
I'm saying people that are like, oh, I do music, I do a little graphics, I do a little of this, I do a little of that. And it's like, dude, you're getting older. Like fucking focus on something.
Yeah.
Something. Hone in on it. Get better at it.
Yeah. I'm trying to get better at fucking. I've been trying to hone that skill.
Yeah.
I've been really putting a lot of time.
Yeah, that's a dragon you'll never catch, buddy.
I ejaculated 1,000 times this year, and this is what I learned.
The 10,000 Cummings rule. Yeah.
Make sure you have lube and tissue paper available. Always. Under no circumstances do you jerk it without any type of catching mechanism.
Like your mouth.
Yes.
How many times do you think you have fucked, Kevin?
3, maybe 4, probably tops.
I wonder how many times I've fucked.
I probably have had sex.
I know how many people I've had sex with.
Let's see, 15
How many?
years.
Men or women?
Well, gender doesn't count.
Oh, right. Okay.
probably-
well, 0 women.
I'd probably say I have sex anywhere 15 times, say.
I think I've had sex like probably maybe 350 times.
Do you know the number of women you've slept with?
I do.
Is it over 100?
No, what the fuck?
Well, I thought well, we have friends that have slept with over 100 women.
Yeah, they're fucking whores. Not 100. It's up there. It's 29.
Is it 100?
No, it's 29. I slept with 29 women.
Is it 99?
I slept with 100 guys, but only 29 women.
Yeah. I probably had
And
sex.
those 29 women, I thought they were guys. When I was fucking them.
It was they were doing the Bugs Bunny thing where they wore a dress.
Yeah, they just had really big clits.
Jason just putting dots on their cheeks to make it look like they have stubble.
They kept being like, "Why do you keep trying to stick my clit in your ass?" I was like, "Oh, I thought you were a guy."
I think I've had sex somewhere between, if I'm doing the math right on it, somewhere between like 450 to like 600 times.
Really?
It's not bad.
Yeah, not too
So like, and you've been married for 15 years?
Yeah.
So you have sex like 50 times a year?
Yeah, probably something like that.
So
That's where my estimates
So
come
you have sex twice a month.
You've had sex for
15
every
years.
3 times a month.
You've had sex for every second of material that you have.
Yes.
So you have sex once every 10 days.
Yeah, that's probably a
That's
good
pretty good.
estimate. Yeah, it's
That's pretty good.
every Sunday except for the third Sunday. I've been saying that for a long time.
Yeah,
That's
so
pretty-
literally sex once every 10 days.
Yeah, probably about
Wait, really?
something like that. Yeah, probably something
That's
like
not bad at all for a married guy.
No, I mean,
You make it sound like you're wandering through the desert with
Well,
like a ketchup packet.
the problem is
You're fucking.
my wife makes me, she makes me put my dick into one of those decontamination machines, and then it's like behind glass, and then it's
Right.
like it seals around my dick. So it's like, yeah, and it goes, and then like a powder comes out with, what do they call that powder? The
Talcum powder?
the delicing.
Right.
They make it, and then she hoses it down with
Right.
like apple cider vinegar, and
Yeah.
then
It's like your dick
purified
is
water.
going to prison.
Yeah, and then I'm allowed to put it in, but not move it
Soaking.
3 times a month.
Soaking.
Yeah. And that's, so that's why it's, it's not as great. It's like
Yeah.
a real NASA.
Based on how you talked, I
Experience.
thought you had sex twice a year.
No.
Yeah,
You're doing great.
I think you had sex like once every 4 months.
Yeah.
No,
For a married guy, you're doing really great.
I've said it on stage 1,000 times. I still, I still have sex. I say it all the time. Guys, I have sex. I have sex.
You act like you never fuck.
Really?
Yeah. You carry yourself like a guy that hasn't got pussy in a coon's age.
I
What? It's not a racist term. I don't know why people get upset.
Well, you know
It
what
means
people are
it's because a
associated with.
raccoon lived like 12 years, and that's what it means.
Yeah, but also not great. You could also just start saying things in Chinese that happen to sound like
Ching chong, bing bong.
American words, though.
Right. You're like, I don't know why people are getting upset. I'm just imitating pots and pans falling.
Yeah.
Ching chong, ping pong, ping pong. Why are you upset? I'm
What?
Michael Winslow.
What?
Yeah.
What? I'm really good.
Ching chong, ping pong, ping pong. Ping. What? That was 8 cups falling.
No, I mean we keep it in line. We put it on the Google Calendar. It's
Right.
it's
You call into a conference call, you dial this special number.
so many of the things in my life that have been successful have been things that I have done without emotion. And I will say that even about like marrying my wife, like picking the person that I wanted to spend the rest of my life with was not like motivated by this deep passion where I was just like, oh, I can't breathe without you. She
Can't breathe.
it was me literally looking at her as and like seeing if we would actually work together for a long time, like really thinking about it. You know what I mean?
The courting process.
Yeah, I mean, it was really a whole thing, and so like even sex, it's like, look, if we're gonna have a healthy marriage, we need to make sure that we're having sex on a regular basis,
Yeah.
even if we're not passionate about it, because the reality is you go through life and you get busy with kids and work and all this shit. then it can fall by the wayside. So you kind of have to prioritize.
Yeah, it can fall by the gay side.
It can fall. That's 100% true because before
yeah, it is, buddy.
I get my wife sends me off into the woods, camping with my buddies.
Yeah, your buddy.
And I haven't fucked in 2 months. Those guys are getting fucked. I'm bathing them in the hot springs and then I'm fucking them
like a marshmallow over the fire, dude. Just sticking a fucking wire hanger through their ass.
And my wife knows how horny dudes
Roasting
are
them.
for me. So
just making them crisp.
Yeah.
Squishing them between a cracker.
Crunchy crunch, baby.
Put some chocolate on it.
Oh, yeah. Caramel even. Melt some marshmallows on my dick.
Yeah, I bet.
You know what I like to do when I go camping? I like to put 3 marshmallows on my dick and then
stick it over the
fire. I like to light it on fire, and then when it catches on fire, then I wiggle my dick back and forth. But it's rough because
and
sometimes it starts
to peel the outside skin of your dick off and then eat it. Yeah,
and then I have little dick juice on my fingers.
You go kumbaya.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sticky.
You know what I do is I have my dick's really hard and I put a little metal rod on top of it and I have my balls are resting in a cup of water, so it's like magnetized, and then if I just stand very loosely, it'll guide my body in the direction of north.
Yeah,
so I know how to get out of the.
You know what I do when I'm camping is my friends will go to sleep, and then what I'll do is I'll lay down next to my friend where my dick is pointed right at his mouth, but not in it.
Yeah,
and then I'll take a cup of warm water, and then I'll put my hand in it, and then go to sleep so that I piss into his mouth. And then I wake up and I'm like, "Oh God, who did this to me?" But I just get to piss in his mouth, and that's how I come. And then I also come into his mouth.
Yeah, and there's a huge cum shot on the side of the tent.
That's actually a lot of people don't know. If you put your hand in cold water, you just come during your sleep.
Yeah. Oh, it's true. Milk, actually.
Yeah,
it's
milk. Yeah.
Yeah, what I like to do is pierce my dick with a nice Prince Albert.
Yeah.
Heavy gauge, like a 0 gauge.
Right.
Really a big hole.
Oh, sure.
And then I like going down to the junkyard. And I'll pay the junkyard employees like $5 to turn the magnet on and off, on and off, on and off, on and off. And then my dick just keeps getting pulled towards the magnet and then goes away. And then
because wow.
Yeah, and then I always have an old Volkswagen Beetle to come on to because I know that it was Nazi engineering.
That's right. That is right. All right, I think that's probably a good ending point for the podcast.
Sometimes they turn the magnet on too strong, and I just go flying up in the air by my dick,
like the brave little toaster.
Yeah. And as scary as it was, it did stretch it out a few inches.
We do this kid in middle school. I know we're wrapping up. We had this kid in middle school who had like a birthmark on his dick, and we would joke that he got his dick stuck in a toaster because he tried to fuck a toaster.
Because he had jam on his dick?
Yeah. No, because it was like kind of black on the end or something.
Oh, he had a black birthmark?
Well, not black. It was
just
like
had cancer.
like a brown birthmark.
Okay.
Like a birthmark.
Yeah.
Right.
So we always joke that he fucked the toaster. So when we'd have like bread, we'd be like, yoo-hoo. Oh, Doug. Woo-hoo. I'd like show him the bread, like the idea of him getting horny.
What a fucking bully you were.
I wouldn't do that. The people I was with, I was too scared to do shit.
You would tell them to do it and then watch them do it.
There was one gay kid in school who you knew too.
That you threw hot dogs at.
I did not do that.
Right.
They would, on hot dog day, they would sit at the end of the long cafeteria table and take the wieners and then roll them down to him.
Jesus.
And just act like they weren't doing
like
it.
he was at a bar ordering a beer.
And it's those shitty hot dogs that they boiled like probably 900 in a pot at once that are like half cooked. So they're like really rubbery and bouncy. And people would just kind of like toss it down. And it would like make me almost piss my pants laughing at the idea of it. I also knew it was so fucking mean, but I couldn't help but like turn purple trying not to laugh.
I saw a guy get towel whipped on the tip of his dick one time and I almost shit myself. It was so funny. I like fell on the ground like somebody shot me.
That's brutal. Dude, I like the idea because this is, I think this kind of encapsulates like you. Like the idea of you seeing these guys making fun of a guy for being gay.
Yeah.
And then you, like in some sort of very kind, altruistic, autistic way, being like, seeing that this kid's getting made fun of for being gay and they're throwing hot dogs at him, and you're like, I'm gay. And then you like start.
Oh, like I laid up on the gay cross.
Yeah, you laid up on the gay cross.
And I nailed the dildos through my stigmatas.
Yes. Yeah, you became gay.
Yeah, here is Ben Avery, the king of the pubes. Yeah. Above your head.
Yeah. But yeah,
to be in this situation, we were freshmen and he was a senior. He just did not care at all.
Right.
He was like, "Fuck these people."
He would suck off the hot dogs.
Yeah, and he liked it. He shoved them up his ass.
Yeah, that's right.
He put mustard on him first and shoved them up.
Yeah, fucking gay bitch, fucking guy that got hazed. Fuck him.
Yeah, he put relish on his asshole and stuck the hot dogs up.
Fucking guy that had
a beautiful Chicago style hot dog.
Yeah, with the pickle on it. Yeah.
The ass cheeks is the bun.
Right. Yeah, he'd go to a baseball game and they'd be like, "Hot dog, get shot." He's like, "One dog over here."
Dude, that would be
the his asshole.
The guy would throw up behind his back and he would just pull his pants down and catch his ass. The guy's like, "Hey, come on. I didn't know that was going to be a gay hot dog."
If the gay guy in The Sopranos had any real friends in his life, like for his birthday, he's like, "Hey, what's his name?"
Fucking Vito.
Is Vito?
Yeah, Vito Spattatore or whatever.
Hey, Vito, I got you the perfect birthday present. You're going to love this. It's right around the corner. And then he goes around and he sees just a foot-long hot dog in a guy's ass.
Right.
With like cheese whiz and shit. And
right.
Like, is that a Chicago style dog? And then he's like, not yet. And then he grabs a pipe from a piping hot stove top of chili, and then he just puts it in the guy's ass.
Okay.
And then he's like, "Is that a Chicago dog for me, man? How you know, man? Nobody's ever done something so nice to me."
Right.
And then he picks the guy up and he just slowly eats his ass with the hot dog in it.
Well, a lot of people don't know how he would have gay sex because he was Italian. Is he would take 2 meatballs and put a breadstick on top of it, and then he would just suck those off. And they walked in on him doing that. He's like, "Oh, I was just eating these. I was eating the meatballs."
Yeah, he likes to dip a dick into a plate of oil and vinegar with pepper on it.
Yeah. He's like, in Italy, they don't even put sauce on the dicks.
I think he
spools the dick up in a fork.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He puts a little tracks. His condom is a little tracksuit. Yeah.
I think the first lewd, like very crude sex act I learned was from this kid in high school, and he's like, "Oh, you never like chili dogged a girl?"
Did he show you how to do it?
And I was like, "What's a chili dog?" He's like, "You shit on a girl's chest and then you titty fuck her."
Yeah, coming from a kid who had never had sex.
Oh, that's what all these are. Nobody's doing that.
Right. The fucking drunken pirate. This fucking
what's the drunken pirate?
Houdini. That's where you kick her in the shin and then come in her eye.
I mean, these are things that aren't real.
Yeah, they're not real. Yeah.
I like to do the whack-a-mole where you're fucking a girl and then you hit her in the tits with a hammer.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, is that a thing?
Yeah, it's called a whack-a-mole. Mm-hmm. That's what you do.
Blumpkin is a thing. I think I know a friend who knows a guy who used to like to get blumpkins.
Mm-hmm. It's a real thing. It's where you take a shit while getting your dick sucked.
Yep. Good stuff. I mean,
I do a reverse.
We also have that on the Google Calendar.
I do the reverse. I get my turd sucked while
you come in the toilet
taking a dick.
No, I'm taking a piss while she sucks my turd. I guess. Wait, now how would it work? Maybe.
Reverse plumpkin.
Reverse plumpkin would be me shitting into a
reverse plumpkin would be somebody shoving something up your ass while somebody else is punishing your cock. Like
okay, so
putting a hot rod on it or something.
Okay,
yeah.
So, yeah, you're right. So someone's biting my dick while someone's shoving a turd up my ass.
that's a plumpkin. What about a clumpkin and it's just the clumps?
Okay. So you're just getting hamster shoved up your ass.
That's right.
You know how like in
that are really overweight.
Hercules. Look at my boy coming.
Just shoving obese hamsters up his ass.
Look at my baby come.
It's like in movies, like a woman will eat a banana to be like have that like, oh, she's really sexual. She's showing her.
Right.
It's like some girl's trying to flirt with you, but she just goes into the bathroom while you're taking a shit. And then she just takes the shit out of the toilet and is like, "Hey!" And then
she's holding it in her hand.
Deep throws it to show you that she doesn't have a gag reflex.
Yeah,
I used to have this picture.
And she's doing it all sexually. Like,
did I show you that picture? I'll find it again, but it's of that kid that really fucked up, like 17-year-old kid in high school. He's clearly in the stall, and he's wearing a fedora, and he has a picture of him shoving his own turd in his mouth.
You don't have to find that.
He like took on a shitty flip phone, like a Motorola Razr. It's one of the worst pictures I've ever seen. I've sought it out multiple times.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm going to just wrap it up right here because if you guys have been here this long, hey, we appreciate you. Please leave us a review on iTunes, subscribe to the podcast, follow us on Instagram at Jay Savory, at Morpheus Quotes, and at Brain Jail Pod. And of course, I'm Kevin Taken. If you like us, this is the nicest thing you could do for us. Send us an email, write us a review. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, we won't do a sleepy episode again.
Yeah, we probably will.
The feeling of one nervousness will unleash, typically about an imminent event or something with an uncertain outcome.
Shit, if this gonna be that kind of party, I'm gonna stick my dick in the back of the Oh God!
Hey boys,
I know I'm dumb.
I love you.
Fuck you, Kevin.